Welcome back to the TriFecta Airsoft podcast. I'm your host, E-Rock. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you never miss another podcast. Also, do me a favor. Go on to whatever podcast app you listen to us on and give us a rating and review. That really helps us rank in the searches. Thank you so much. Let's get into the podcast. All right, we're good.
Oh no, it's recording. I gotta mind my P's and Q's and be a good little soldier.
Does it does it come up and tell you when I hit
Yeah,
record?
it does. Most of these actually do.
Oh,
Like I use Microsoft Teams at work all the time, so
yeah.
a little message pops up saying recording, so it's fine.
Well, look, I've never used Teams. Is that their replacement for Skype or something?
Yeah, I believe so. A lot of businesses use it now.
Okay.
I notice a lot of the companies we've worked with have switched over to it as well because it's easier to use compared to Skype. They've done so many other things to it to make it better, but we notice it does use up a lot of resources. So
Yeah, no shit, right?
but
That I don't know. So this whole Skype thing, I did Skype's been around forever, right?
yeah,
And had a lot of features on it that I had no clue on because I probably used it twice in the last 5 years.
yeah.
Once was with my daughter who lived in well, at the time she was in the Air Force. She lived in Mississippi, and so we called her on that from our laptop. She has an
Mhm.
iPhone. All my kids, or some of my kids, have iPhones. My wife has iPhone, so they were like, well, let's do FaceTime. I'm like,
Mhm.
well, I want to record this. This is a family thing we were doing, so
Yeah.
I was like, let's do Skype and I can record it. So that time, and then just about a few months ago, I did a podcast with somebody that when I was using Discord,
Yeah.
and they couldn't get Discord to work real well. It was
Yeah.
kind of laggy, so
Yeah.
we went to Skype and it worked great. Well,
Mhm.
then when I did the podcast with Def Rowe, the Australian that lives in Japan, I was telling him the same thing, and he was like, because I said I'm always open to suggestions on how to do
Mhm.
this better. He said, have you tried using Zoom? And I said no. So as we're talking, I told him about that same thing I just told you, where
Yeah.
I use Skype with somebody. He goes, oh yeah, Skype's a thing. uh he goes, there's a video from College Humor, I guess the College Humor page, or YouTube channel. And so
Wow,
I went and watched it
I haven't
after.
heard College Humor in a minute.
Dude, I never heard of their channel until he told me about that. So I went and watched the video about Skype that they did. It was, oh my God, it was hilarious. It was
Yeah,
really well done.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have a lot of great stuff on there. I need to watch that one. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it's
great.
been a couple of years since I watched College Humor, but yeah, they have some good stuff on that
It
channel.
was like Skype's had all these things for all these years, all the
Mhm.
same features like Zoom, whatever. Um, what the fuck is Zoom? Like, what,
And there's just just like technology, man. I work I'm a web designer. I manage a team.
Okay.
I kind of wish I was still in print design
Mm,
because only the software changes, but the print never changes.
right.
So every year for me, it's just like I got to learn all the new stuff that's coming out. I got to come up with what software we should switch to, but we're not switching. But there's so much going on in the digital world.
No
There's
shit.
so many of these types of pieces of software to record meetings with, and yeah, we use Skype
Okay.
to communicate especially during holidays and birthdays with family from in the Philippines.
Oh,
So
okay.
so yeah, and it works great over there. You don't have we
Yeah.
don't It's Skype and the Google one that they came up with a couple years
Duo.
ago. Yeah, we use that
Yeah.
one.
That's
So
how
yeah.
yeah. So like I said, my some of my kids have like the iPhones or whatever, and then
Mhm.
me and a couple of my sons have the Samsung phones. And so to do a FaceTime, a video call, we'll use the Google Duo.
Yeah.
And a handful of friends, if we video call, it's through that. And I like that. It works well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Google,
this
it better work well.
I'm
They kind of
saying
have
now.
like half the money in the world, so yeah, I'm pretty sure it will work well.
It's so crazy, dude. I know. Well, I
Yeah.
was going to ask you where, so you're originally from the Philippines.
Yeah, yeah. I grew up in the Philippines till I was about 11 years old,
No
and
shit.
yeah, my dad moved here first to California,
Yeah.
and so the plan was to get the rest of the family over there. I have three sisters, my mom. I'm one of the middle kids, and
Middle
so
child, baby. Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
and only boy.
Me too.
Yes.
Fucking angst, baby.
So
Teenage angst.
and who got spoiled out of everybody? The boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then then I turned into a little teenager and got big and strong and said, "Hey, Mark, you can lift stuff. Come here."
Right?
So yeah, so I ended up moving. My dad moved up first, and I came next. Then after that, after a year or so, my mom came, and finally, after a few years, we finally got our citizenship and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I ended up becoming a big strong kid, and so I worked with my dad. He lived with my aunt and her husband and my uncle,
Yeah.
and he was trying to find a gig. So so because he's a very, very educated man.
Your
Like
dad?
yeah, he's
Yeah.
a really smart guy. I hate how smart he is and how dumb and how dumb I am. Like I got his creative side with art and construction and woodworking, all the hands-on things I got,
Yeah.
but it's just the memory retention for like sitting there to figure out a math problem that didn't follow. So luckily I got the creativity and enough of it to make a living out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had a hard time getting a job doing that. He wanted to teach again, but you'd have to go, even though you graduate college from another country, you still have to go to school
Yep.
when you visit another country. He didn't have time for that.
Right.
So, he just picked up some handyman jobs and he just read books
Yeah.
in like a week and figured out how to do all that. And I picked a lot of that stuff from him as well.
I feel like there needs to be a change with that, where in this country where you have, there needs to be an aptitude test that
Hmm.
you can take when you come from another country, and it's the same thing for the military.
Hmm.
When we're in the military, if you do a certain job in the military and you get out, that training and that
Hmm.
all of that shit, all that experience does not transfer over. You still have to go
No.
to school to get, through all the formality
Yeah.
to do it. So there needs to be like what you're talking about, where your dad came over, he had all this training and education. There should be an aptitude test. Say, hey, this is what level you're at. Okay, you can start here instead of at the fucking bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the education system, it's really archaic. It hasn't kept up
Yeah.
with the times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And if they had that for him, man, he would have been a professor in college
Hmm.
easily, easily. He's that smart, and it makes me sick.
Well, what's bad about it is too, not just for the person, having to start over, but also for people that could learn from him, right?
Yeah, yeah,
We stand on the, that quote, we stand on the shoulders of giants,
mhm.
like we're always, nobody really has original ideas. Very
No,
few,
no,
very few.
no, no,
we're building on what we've learned and what we've,
exactly.
gathered from all of our experiences in
Yeah,
life and history, to better that one thing or
yep,
whatever we go into. So there needs to be a system, the system needs to change to accommodate that, I
yeah,
feel like.
definitely, definitely,
Hmm.
definitely. Because there are a lot of intelligent people from other countries that move to
Right.
another country and have to actually do that, start over again. And it's like,
Oh,
man,
it's
just
discouraging.
give them the last three finals you gave to somebody
Yep.
and see where that person decides, starts lagging, then start them off there.
Right.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's rough, man. That's why I dropped out of college, because I couldn't figure anything out. I'm not a smart man. I'm a smart man with like three things maybe.
I don't know, man. I watched some of your YouTube videos. You seem pretty smart to me.
Uh, I BS my way through so many classes. That's why
Cheers to that.
history, it was just trying, that was easy because I like stories, well,
Yeah,
certain stories.
right.
So I was just hoping and praying every single one, all the questions would be about the Renaissance period, about the medieval period. And they're like, oh, that's the fun stuff for me.
Yeah,
And in English class, it's like, okay, I can make up a story and BS my way through this real quick.
for real, bro.
Yeah. And then math, it's like I'm out. You can't BS your way through math. There is no gray area, so I
No,
hate math.
it's finite. There's
It is.
this equals this. That's it.
Yep. Yep.
So unless you go into quantum stuff, what do they talk
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
It's like nothing is real and nothing makes sense. What we're in a simulation and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So yeah, storytelling is definitely my thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna say it right now before I forget that I might ramble because
Dude, that's
whenever
great.
well, podcast, so this might be a good thing then. I
Yeah.
might ramble because when somebody asked me, hey, what'd you do when you were this old? I'm like, all right, back in 1973, this is what I was born into, this man.
Oh yeah.
I go way into detail, and I've been doing my best not to like go down that road with a lot of people. But
No,
this
that's
will be the
cool,
first
man.
podcast, so
Well, I'm going to tell
we'll
you
see
right
how this
now,
works out.
I'm the same way. And I have a long history as well. I'm old. Okay. So, I was born in 70 and, so you're totally okay to ramble about your history, your experiences. So what I try to do on here is, obviously, promote the guest and if you have an Instagram or a YouTube, whatever, promote that. But I want to find out your background, pretty much what led you into where you're at now, which is airsoft.
Yeah.
And obviously you like it enough to start a YouTube channel and post on Instagram. So that is that's where we'll end up.
Cool.
All
Cool.
the
So yeah.
before, the introduction and all the middle stuff, okay, uh that's just free roam,
Yeah, man.
like free roam. It's okay.
Yeah. Trust me, man. I was sitting this weekend like rehearsing for this. I'm like, all right, just take a shot and see what happens. So let's do this.
Oh yeah. Well, I was yeah, I still get a little some butterflies before I start a podcast, especially when I don't know a whole lot
Yeah.
about that person, like if I haven't had them on before. um so it's and I think the other thing too is, honestly, I started the YouTube channel when my boys got into airsoft, and I was coming out of being paralyzed, needed something
Mm,
to do. I was still I was able to walk, but not very well,
yeah.
so I couldn't work the kind of work that I used to do.
Yeah.
So when I started these podcasts, like kind of legit, when a podcast, when I started
Yeah.
calling that, I felt a little self-conscious about,
Hmm.
I have not played airsoft still to this day. I was an old school paintballer,
Yeah.
but since my illness and when I started this channel, I haven't been out to play. So I've shot some guns. We do reviews and stuff, unboxings, reviews, and or did. We used to do that. So these guys went AWOL, and they got busy in life. So I
As we
started
all
doing these
do.
podcasts. Yeah. So I that's still a little bit in the back of my mind because I don't know a whole lot about airsoft, like
Mhm.
the tech part, all the different new guns and new gear and stuff. I only know now. I've ripped apart a ton of AGs and had springs flying everywhere because I didn't know that they it was
Oh
the
yeah.
first gearbox I took apart. It's like bouncing off the walls in this office, and I'm like searching on the floor for this tiny ass trigger spring.
God.
So I
Yeah.
do know some of that, but most of the stuff, that I talk with people about, they know 10 times more than me. Even a new airsofter knows way more than me. So I was a little self-conscious about it. So it kind of, I think sometimes I get a little, I get those butterflies because I don't
Yeah.
know, and so I'm just trying to get your story basically. And we just have fun chatting. That's it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Well, if you're looking to learn more about airsoft, I'm probably the wrong guy. Because I've opened up one gearbox and tried to rebuild it. It
Yeah.
was just a MP5 that busted on me
Oh
finally.
shit.
So I said, you know what, let's take this off. I traded a cheap gun for it for a swap meet, and he said it's falling apart. I'm like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
Played with it for a bit, worked fine. Then just after like 6 months, it slowly started dying. I took it apart, look at the gearbox. I'm like, and I used to work on guitars as well.
Oh shit.
I've been a musician for almost all my life.
Yeah.
Not a
I
very
saw a
good one,
video.
but
I saw a video on your Instagram
man.
that you did a Billy Idol song, and Billy Idol used to be my favorite singer.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome.
oh fuck yeah, dude. So I was
I,
gonna ask you about that.
I'd like to apologize for that cover.
You did good, dude. You did awesome. I mean, honestly, as a Billy Idol fan, I was like, bro, this is fucking cool because nobody does that.
Yeah, yeah. And when some I definitely love cover songs. That's why I used to have them. I have like some music on Spotify because I've been playing guitar since I was 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
I got really good at one point, but I had too many hand injuries from work. From I did a lot of manual labor jobs, from truck driving to furniture delivery, and
Yeah.
that kind of ruined my fingers after my mid-20s. And I switched over to working in an office and gaining 40 pounds in a year. That was the age of 26 was very rough for me.
Yeah.
It just progressively got worse, and now I'm trying to bring it back down. I'm 44 now, so I'm slowly trying to push that sucker back down.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but yeah, I played a long time. I sang in a church choir,
Okay.
and when I was a kid, and I was in choir in like till second grade, and then puberty kicked in and kind of ruined that, which was great. Yeah, the my voice started getting deeper, and then I stopped going to the school singing classes.
Yeah.
I was like, great, I could go play kickball with my boys.
Right.
So that was the best part of it. I got back into playing sports regularly. So yeah.
Yeah, when you're going through puberty, man, you try to sing, because I did, similar stuff in church. And during puberty years, man, you try to hit a note, and it doesn't just switch from low to high. It cracks and does that, weird
right there, man.
Right.
I still do that. I practice not as often as I should, but because I really don't record much anymore.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, I think it was because I was miserable for like 15 years, just not happy with my life. So, and there's, especially when I joined my band when I was 16 or 17 years old, my creativity was just cranking them out like weekly. I'd come up with music or come up with lyrics.
Yeah.
But yeah, after I got divorced in my 30s, I was like, all right, time to take care of me, rather than, because I'm the guy who's always ready to help others.
Yeah.
So I still do it, but not as intense as I used to.
Right.
So now it's like I got to take care of myself because I'm not happy. I realize I'm not happy.
Gotcha.
And now I'm happy. So my creativity for song lyrics is just out the door. It's like I try to write happy music, and I'm like, this is stupid. This is lame. Nobody's gonna feel anything. I'm not a pop singer type of guy. I'm the guy that headbangs and jumps into mosh pits, bro. Granted, I used to sing Britney Spears' "Baby One More Time" at open mics and Bitch by Meredith Brooks. But yeah,
yeah. Oh my God.
I used to do open mics in my early 20s. We used to go down to downtown Dallas, Deep Ellum, where all the cool clubs were.
Yeah.
And they'd have open mics, and every now and then I'd just do like a girl rock song set of like 3 songs that I don't change the words to him or me or boy, girl, whatever. It's like I'm gonna be a girl on top of the stage, and it'll be great. It was awesome.
Oh, that's so cool. Fun. Yeah, no shit, dude. So okay, so I want to ask, growing up in the Philippines, I mean, you were old enough to remember, obviously, when you left there. How was the transition from there to California? Like schooling, like what was
Okay, so
friends,
I said it was in the
social
choir.
stuff.
Yeah, I said it was in the choir. It was an all boys Catholic school.
Hmm.
So whenever I say that to people who've known me for a bit and didn't know about it, they say, "Oh, that explains a lot." I'm like,
Well, I
what?
mean, I
Wait,
grew up
wait.
Catholic,
Yeah. Oh, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was, other than not having to wear that white shirt with the khaki pants or shorts, it did not feel any different. And like I said, I was 11 years old.
Right.
And to me, I grew up with gray parents. They, we were kind of in the Philippines, we were kind of the upper middle class,
Okay.
but, and some people around that area, around that status, can be dicks
Mm,
to people below them. And I've
right.
seen it in different cultures. I've seen them
Sure.
treat people like dirt.
Yeah.
And my parents were not my parents are not like that. They're
Right.
kind and gentle people to anybody, as long as you're a kind and gentle person.
Sure.
So when I moved to California, uh I know I was nervous, but I went to my aunt, who we lived with for a little bit, was a teacher at a school, and I ended up going to her school.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can't remember if my second or third grade teacher told the kids that I was her nephew, but it was great. I didn't have any issues. I did get in one fight, but yeah, it
Mm,
was a good time.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
That'll happen.
yeah. It was a fun day, and it was realized then that I was a crybaby.
Well, bro,
I can tell you all about that. I
well,
have a kind of history of fighting, so.
so changing your school to obviously to California, and then somebody picking on the new kid. I'm sure that
Well,
was
it wasn't really picking on new kid,
okay.
because I was cool with everybody, but there's this, whenever I think back to this guy, there's a guy, his name was Anthony. I remember this guy.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy, but he was a real smart alecky guy. He'd
Yeah.
always have some stupid comment about something. But and okay, here's the story. I'm going to try to not put way too much detail in. It was about 72 degrees, and
Oh
now
shit. That's not detailed at all.
the wind was blowing in from the east. Now,
There
I
was a
remember,
couple leaves over
yeah,
here.
yeah. I was wearing my brown khakis. Anyway, so we were just, it was recess or whatever it was after lunch,
Yeah.
and they had a swing set with 3 swings on it, and so two of us would go back, and the one in the middle would go forward,
Yeah.
and guys would like run in between them
Oh, right.
and just go back and forth. I
Yep.
don't know if that's that actual game, but we did it, because
Yeah,
I've
we did
never
that
seen it
too.
happen again. Awesome. Yeah, because boys are kind of dumb at that age.
Oh
But
yeah.
awesome. You'll learn a lot. And that kid, Anthony, just decides to, like, I was in the middle, and he decides to just like stop while I was going backwards and just like shoulder check me.
Right.
And I went face first in the ground, and I got pissed. And of course, little 11-year-old rage comes out. So I'm like doing this number or whatever the hell it
Right.
was. They sure as hell weren't punches. I probably looked like I was swatting bees out of my hair. So, but he's running, he's walking backwards and stuff. And then I'm like I remember sitting there all pissed off. And then my teacher, one of the teachers in the school, who uh, was always nice to me, he came out, he goes, Mark, he grabs me. And I'm like, and I just start bawling.
Yep.
Because then, the adrenaline's gone. I feel my spine just sore as hell, just because
Yeah.
it hurt. And I'm just bawling. I'm crazy. I'm bawling all the way to the principal's office.
Sure.
And then I don't know what happened to Anthony, but they told my aunt. And then after that, everything was fine. He apologized and all that.
Yeah.
He didn't suspend him, but I was okay. And man, every time I think about that day, I was like,
Isn't that crazy though?
yeah.
Yeah, they're really impactful events when you're
Mhm.
that age.
Yeah, that was definitely it. That's really, to me, that's when that's the time I knew the world wasn't great.
No
When
shit.
it's like, oh, you all those Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee movies ain't gonna do nothing for you. You actually have to go
You
do
didn't
something.
learn how to punch, the right way from watching those movies? How dare
Yeah,
you?
yeah. I'm pretty sure I threw some form of a jump spin kick somewhere in there. But yeah, and the real turning point for me as a very young, barely as a man barely in his teens,
Yeah.
uh, a year later, my grandfather, who's ex-military in the Philippines, who served in World War II
Yeah.
for the U.S., he was a radio operator for the
Okay.
U.S. in the Philippines, and that's my grandfather, my dad's side. My grandfather and my mom's side was part of the guerrillas in the
Oh,
Philippines.
yeah.
So, and when my parents told me, they told me that when I was like in my early 20s, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
We got some bad motherfuckers, in our family, man.
Right.
And I know my dad's a tough guy too. So it's just like, dude, we got fighters. And then I'm like, Manny Pacquiao, yeah.
Right.
And all the Filipino TV shows my mom forced me to watch. There's a lot of people screaming. We're very passionate people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of screaming and crying. It's just so much. But yeah, and they realize then that we're a family full of fighters
Yeah.
in one way or another, whether it's defending whatever we believe in, or in their case is going to war. In my
Sure.
case, getting in fights. But
Yeah. Passionate.
yeah,
Passionate, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so a year later, my dad and I finally got our own place. He first signed me up for karate
Okay.
before we were still living in West Covina. He signed me up for karate. I did okay. I got my awesome yellow belt,
Yeah.
and they had a little they had a little tournament just for the school. And I was thought, oh yeah, here we go, let's do this. And the guy was like 3 inches taller than me. I don't know if they were even the same age, and he just front kicked me to the gut. I'm like, oh, 3 times. It was a 3-point match, and in like a minute and a half, he just took me out. I'm like,
Oh,
I don't know what to do. There's no sparring. All he
right.
had me do is sit, and my sensei told me to do was do push-ups on my knuckles. My knuckles
Oh,
are awesome, but I don't know what to do against a front kick. So yeah, it taught me a little bit, just taught me the form, the stance, what to do
yeah.
and stuff. But what really helped was a year after we got our place, my dad ended up finding uh, a stable job as a manager and um, the maintenance guy for a set of apartments out in Sepulveda.
Oh, okay.
So we
Now,
went
where's
from
that at in Cali?
it's a both in Southern California.
Okay.
West Covina is kind of the suburbs. Sepulveda, should I describe?
See,
It's the
I haven't.
ghetto.
What is it?
It's the ghetto.
Is it? Yeah, because I haven't heard of these names. I was stationed at Pendleton. So I spent a lot of time in Oceanside, La Jolla, San Diego,
Yeah, I think this is kind of
Carlsbad.
northeast. Yeah, I can't remember
Oh,
exactly
okay.
where it was. I don't look it up as much as I'd like to.
Yeah.
I every now and then I just go look at the apartments my dad took care of. Well, me and my dad took care of, and
Right.
like, wow, it's kind of crap. It's like, man, we did a better job of taking. Even I put a better drywall than these guys. Whoever's
Oh, that's
and I
funny.
was like 12,
Right.
and yeah, because my dad was very. He's like I said, he's a very intelligent guy, but he's like, don't settle for anything.
Yeah.
So every time he did there, he did a great job of like
Right.
replacing walls, replacing
Yeah.
anything.
If you're going to do something, do it right the first
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where I learned how to fix things around here. Even in my apartment, it's like I've
Sure.
maybe called the maintenance guys to fix like electrical things because I haven't gotten my hands
Gotcha.
full into that.
Yeah.
But I've fixed some of the plumbing in there myself because I get bored.
Yeah.
So anyway, so after we lived there for about 6 months, and my grandfather decided to visit from the Philippines.
Okay.
And it's like, I thought he's just visiting family. And one day I'm sitting there watching cartoons on a Saturday morning, and he goes, Mark, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just watching cartoons, Grandpa. He's like, let's go outside. Like, let's get some air. I'm going to teach you some stuff today. I'm like, okay. Yeah, we get up, so we're walking, and in this apartment, the parking lot was just like it from the outside, it kind of looked like an office building.
Yeah.
It was it was an L-shaped building.
Gotcha.
In the back, it was about the same shape, and the very back of it had a big maple or oak tree. I can't remember what kind of tree it was, but it was
Yeah.
about 3.5 feet wide in diameter.
Wow.
To
Yeah,
the
that's
left,
huge.
yeah, to the left of it was this junker car that's on its rims.
Oh,
Most of the
wow.
windows broken.
Yeah.
It was a Datsun something or other.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah,
old that car
buddy.
was.
I learned how
So
to drive stick on a Datsun 310. I'm telling you.
mine was a 1981 Ford Ranger. So
Okay.
I missed that truck. But so, and right behind that was this rusted like workbench thing that they had laying in there, and I
Yeah.
don't know how long that stuff's been there, but it was rusty and scary. So yeah, he took me out back. He goes, I heard what happened to you at school. I'm going to teach you how to throw a punch and
Oh,
teach you how to box and Thai box. Because, and I didn't know this, I knew he was in the military, but
yeah.
I come to find out that he was a bamf, just a badass.
No
And
shit.
yeah, so he was like in his, and I spoke with one of it. We went to visit the Philippines when I was 18 and 19, and I spoke with some of his friends out there, and he said, "Yeah, your grandpa was one of the best boxers in our military."
Wow.
And his other friend says, "Yeah, we took a trip to Thailand to see if we could fight the Thai guys."
Oh, shit.
And he could. He stood up there.
Damn.
They threw a couple kicks, but he said he just like figured it out.
Yeah.
But being the men they were back then, after they fought, they'd have a beer, and then
Yep.
he ended up training with them.
Yeah, it's
And
camaraderie, man. It's
exactly,
respect. Yeah.
exactly. So he was definitely a tough guy. He was a gentleman, but man, he was not the guy to mess with.
Yeah.
So
That's a rare thing today.
it is. I'm trying to mold myself somewhat close to that,
Sure.
to be a good person.
Yeah.
Like
Good character, honor,
Tim,
good values,
yeah,
but
definitely.
tough, strong
Yeah,
and tough. Yeah.
Tim Kennedy has a quote that he says. I'm not quoting him perfectly here, but it's basically, we need good men who can do evil things, something to that
Absolutely.
nature. And I'm
You
like,
have to.
that's the way to be.
Yeah, you have to.
Exactly. So he tells me,
Capable of it, but not,
oh yeah,
doing it. Yeah.
yeah,
Unless you
yeah,
have to. Yeah.
yeah. And that's the only time now where after I turned uh after I hit my late 20s, I was like, okay, I can't be doing this anymore.
Yeah.
This is stupid. I will end up in jail one day. So let's
So
just chill.
after he taught you to fight, did you so you said you got in some fights later
Oh
on,
yeah,
or
yeah, that didn't change teenage hormones. But the best part about that training, so he showed me how to box
yeah.
to this, and then he finally corrected my form because I was going like Bruce Lee style like this. I'm like, no. That's why that guy kicked you in the stomach. So
Yeah.
so he showed me his stance, but it wasn't the typical boxer stance where you're in tight like this.
Yeah.
It was definitely more Thai boxing style, to where
Gotcha.
your form's a little wider.
Right.
And I didn't know that then, but now I'm like, yeah, he definitely didn't teach me just boxing. He taught me Thai boxing, because he did have me eventually throw leg kicks.
Mm.
He just said, okay, you do this, make sure you turn your leg this way, and leg kick, left, right. And he goes, okay, my legs are sore. I'm like, and now I'm thinking, I'm like, no, it's not. my legs are tired. Let's go to this tree. Okay, stand here, kick this tree. Have you ever seen those Thai guys who kick banana trees?
Bro, he had you kick the tree with your shin.
Yep. And I'm sitting there with I'm sitting there in flip flops.
Oh.
I think I had either a Bart Simpson or Ninja Turtles tank top on, and aqua blue shorts. Just a 12, 13-year-old kid. He goes, I'm like, what?
Oh.
So of course, I'm like, I kick it and just like barely tap it. He goes, no, harder. You can do harder than I'm like, what? and all of a sudden I kicked it like maybe 50%.
Right.
And I was like,
Dude.
God, that hurts. He goes, oh, maybe that tree's too hard. He goes, let's go over here. So we go to this junk car. And he like yanks on the front door, yanks it open finally, glass
Yeah.
like flying everywhere. He hits the side of it, goes, okay, this will be better for you to kick.
Oh my God.
So I ended up, it was after feeling the pain of that tree, my brain's like, okay, this has a little gift. So he wasn't like, shoving it on me.
Right.
So he's just like kind of pulling it back a little bit. And we went to the other side, did that. So we trained a little more, a few more times before he went back to the Philippines. Now, so, that's just kind of my very first taste of actual real fight training.
Right.
The best part of this story is he did the same thing to my cousin who got in a fight in school, lost, came home, cried, and he took him out back, and this time to an oak tree here in Texas. And I'm like, he told me that, and I was like, dude, he did the same thing to me in California, man. What the hell?
Oh shit.
So yeah, and then my dad just goes, yeah, that's your grandpa. He kind of did something similar to me when I was a kid. So,
No kidding, man.
But yeah, as far as fights in school, it just like I've always been the nice, sweet, laughing, funny guy, but
Yeah.
it was like as soon as shit was about to go down, I'm ready to go.
Right.
But and back then, of course, when you're your early teens, your hormones are just raging.
Oh, all over.
And so as soon as somebody says something stupid, I was
Right.
like, I'm like, you want to go? You want to go? And then scrap. But it wasn't anything serious. Get a couple good licks in, but that's about it. But
well, I feel like when when people are the guys like you and me, we're if we're picked on or beat up or bullied or whatever, like I'm not talking about today's bullying, I'm talking about back then bullying. Okay.
Oh, you mean
today's
real bullying?
bullying is they said your glasses look dumb. Okay. Oh, they bullied me. No. I'm talking about getting physically hurt. Okay. That kind of bullying. I think when that, guys like you and me, when that happens, we're almost, it makes such an impact on us at that age. I'm going to either prepare or whatever, but it puts our mind in this defensive mode when we're at school because that's kind of where it came from. I was the same way, we had I've gotten, I think in high school, I probably was in 8 or 9 fights, and they were all sticking up for my friends.
Exactly.
I was very quiet in school, which is weird. I wasn't a talker, except in what you were talking about with with English class. I signed up for a public speaking class, and I was terrible in high school, man. I did not study. I would just wing everything and just BS through everything. And like you said, math, you can't BS. Okay.
Nope.
But I'm going to tell you what, public speaking, I never wrote out not one thing. People would stress about their little, 5-minute speeches or whatever. I would not even fucking think 2 seconds about it. Walk in there with nothing on my paper. And when they would call my name, and act like I had something on my notebook, and it was a total blank page. And I'd get up there. I remember telling a story about some kind of talking about rabbits. Well, so anyway, I was great at BSing with that, but most of the time I was really quiet. So when we hang out with friends and stuff, I wasn't trying to be the strong, silent type or whatever, I didn't really know how to, mingle with people and start conversations. I wasn't a talker. And, so most of my fights, well, actually all of them in high school were, I never started. Somebody picked on my friend from the football team or whatever, and I just jumped in, and that's kind of how we ended up.
Yeah, definitely. I was definitely kind of the same way. I never really started a fight. I got into, it was, let's see, freshman year was probably felt like a fight career. Because I got in a fight like once or twice a month.
Damn.
and okay, but the 12 fights in each month,
Yeah.
was just part of it was just me and my buddies fist fighting in the handball court where nobody could see us because it was a great
Oh,
blind
that's
spot.
cool.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was perfect because
That's
the handball
fucking
court,
dude. That's a,
it
OG
was our
Fight
ring, right?
Club, bro.
Oh yeah, dude. We just because I'm a very sociable guy.
Yeah.
In certain situations, I'm very sociable, and so my group of friends varied from the Mexican gangsters
Right.
to the D&D nerds who I
Yeah.
talk video games with, then the metalheads, which
Yep.
were my main crew, and the semi jocks. So I gravitated to all towards those because I'm like, I like all this stuff,
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah.
all the smack talk with the gang banging stuff that they never did. The D&D and well, not D&D, but the gaming stuff.
Right.
And so me and my metalhead friends, a couple of like three of us just like fighting, and we found that out, and and like once a month, two of us would just like not seriously square off, but we'd square off
Right.
because it was the big handball courts where there's four walls
Yep.
perpendicular and then a wall in between those walls. So
Right.
there was a last one of the southeast side that was completely blind to anybody in the school except for
Right.
the main street, and the main street was about 100 feet away, so nobody could really
Oh, you're
tell
good.
if we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were perfect. So we wouldn't. The rules were basically don't hit each other in the face.
Right.
So you
You're
just
bare
have body
knuckle. You don't
sense.
have any,
Yeah.
no pads or nothing.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You were just bare knuckle.
Yeah.
It wasn't serious. We just did it because it was fun.
That's fucking
Un,
great. Yeah. It's good training.
yeah, until my friend Ainsley hit Orozco in the nuts with steel toe boots accidentally.
Wait, what? He kicked him?
Yeah, we were kicking too. Yeah,
Yeah. Sure.
I didn't kick,
Yeah.
because I had steel toe boots too. And then, but yeah,
Yeah.
just one day he just like leaned backwards and just like randomly threw a kick up in the air, and you just heard that. And you just see my boy, a big, huge guy, Orozco, just go, oh crap, and just fall down. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
snap. He goes, yeah. So yeah, that was it. But yeah, just like you, the other fights I got into, the actual fights,
Yeah.
they're really just helping, getting people to stop picking on my friends. And usually for me though is like I didn't want to get suspended, I didn't want to get caught,
Sure.
because as a young man who loves his parents, I'm also deathly afraid of them.
Right.
But yeah, some of those, in a lot of those classes, in school, the fights are really definitely defending friends.
Right.
But I'd always tell, hey, let's wait after school. We will throw down.
Yeah.
But, you keep picking on them, I'm gonna kick the crap out of you.
Yep.
And most of the time, of course, when somebody's, I wasn't a scary dude either.
Yeah.
I'm like your I should have been like a anime character to just your chubby Asian friend with his super squinty eyes, the big head, the chubby cheeks, with the glasses. Because I was like the chubby kid who was a decent athlete.
Yeah.
And so nobody took that seriously, but a few of them did, and then they found out that I wasn't playing around.
Listen, guy, I'm telling you, bro, those guys
Oh yeah.
are always underestimated. We had guys like that on the wrestling team. I wrestled, played football, played baseball.
Mhm.
Those guys, because they're always kind of like joking around or happy, they're not aggressive, and
Yeah.
they don't look aggressive or threatening, like their body type and because of how they act and stuff. Yeah, you start wrestling with those dudes, those guys are always underestimated.
Oh yeah.
As to how strong they are.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't realize until you start doing it. It's like, holy shit, bro.
Yeah.
You're really this strong?
Yeah.
Because your muscles don't really show. And it just, yeah. I've had a lot of experience with friends like that.
Mm-hmm.
When we do the same thing your friends did, and we start sparring, just messing around, wrestling around, you start grappling and shit, and you're like, bro, you're fucking like strong as an ox,
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely had a buddy like that. His name was Cooper, that little skinny dude, man. Because we ended up getting like our little meathead crew against some other meathead crew in
Yeah.
school. And it's like, all right, uh, okay, I'll take the big guy. And then my other friend who was big, my friend Arturo, he was bigger than me. He was a little bit taller than me, a little bigger than me. He goes, "Okay, I'll take the little one. You guys get whoever you want. I don't like that guy. He talked too much." I'm
Oh
like, "All
shit.
right." And that little dude whooped his ass, man.
Oh
The guy was so fast. He wasn't skilled or anything, but he had some kind of training
yeah.
because he was just dodging everything he threw at him, and all of a sudden my boy slips and he just jumped on top of him and just started pounding him.
Oh my
And
god.
I take the big guy down because he was big, dumb, and slow,
Yeah.
and he didn't know what he was doing. And I just like he swung and I just like shoved him in the ground and just started kicking him. But yeah, we got it was like that for us once a month. It was just nothing that was probably the biggest fight I ever been in. It wasn't nobody was seriously injured, a couple
Right.
bruises here and there, a couple
Yeah,
black
but don't you
eyes.
think when you grow up that way, especially in your, forming years, 8, 9, 10, whatever, till you're 17 or something, getting in fights. And I'm not saying people should get in fights, to start a fight or whatever. But when you have, when that happens and you go through that, you get punched in the face, you get kicked when you're down, you get in a situation where it's not orchestrated, like a sport, like wrestling or like football, where it's allowed and the limits, everyone knows the limits. Of course, football, you're padded up, but
Oh yeah.
uh, when you get in a real fight, you kind of know, like, okay, when you're 12, 13, 14, you kind of know in the back of your head, these guys, you're not fighting for your life. They're not trying to legit kill you,
Oh yeah.
but there's still a little bit of uncertainty there about uh who's going to get the best of whatever. And you're scrambling, you're trying to figure out, like, I don't want to lose,
Yeah.
not because I want to save face or reputation or whatever, but I don't, you don't know what it's going to feel like. Like,
Yeah.
if you've never had your ass kicked really bad, had, and anyone that's never been beat up, or in a traumatic kind of injury, or had some kind of traumatic injury, the injury itself in the spur of the moment does not hurt that bad. It's
Mhm.
it's the healing process that hurts. So when you get punched in the face, it's kind of like a dull thud,
Yeah. Yeah.
when you break your nose. I've had my nose broken 6, 7 times. It's a dull thud, it's a crack.
Mhm.
Your mind kind of, when you hear something crack, like a bone crack, I had my arm broken. It it you feel like your head goes, oh, this should hurt more than it does. But adrenaline kicks in, everything goes numb. Yeah, talk to me a week later, I'll be in
Oh
so
yeah,
much
dude.
fucking pain. You'll be like, holy shit. But
Yeah.
yeah, in the moment, you're like, okay, like, this ain't that bad, when you're sparring with your friends and somebody gets a really good, pow on your cheek bone, or your mouth or something. Fat lips, dude, those suck when they try to heal,
It's
because
so tender. It's so tender.
it's so tender.
And you're
And not only
just
that, it's so swollen on the inside. You're trying to, when you eat, you
yeah.
accidentally bite it
Oh, bro.
again when it's
Oh,
trying to
dude.
heal. Bro,
Uh,
talk about some fucking
whew.
pain.
Oh yeah. I've been there and been there. And the worst part about having a fat lip is you can't hide that from your parents.
Nah.
You may be able to convince your mom because she's a sweetheart of the world, but your dad knows better.
Yep.
Your dad knows he got punched in the mouth.
Exactly.
Because yeah. And yeah, the fights, adrenaline's a crazy thing, man.
It really is.
Because you get in that heated moment and all of a sudden like everything shuts off and it's just you're back in survival mode,
Absolutely.
whether it's in a fight or in just even sports, when the nerves start going crazy, all of a sudden you're
Right.
just on automatic. And then like after that you're like, holy crap, what the hell just happened? Why is
Right.
my arm hurting? So
Yeah.
yeah, there's those moments, and you got to learn how to control that moment, because you got to.
Well, the guys that grow up with that, go through that, I feel like when they get older, like you and I, okay, we're not in our 20s anymore. When you get older, you're a little more mature. You can look back on it and go, oh, I learned something from that kind of
Mhm.
thing. I feel like we're stronger, like a stronger character, internally, because of those experiences,
Mhm.
and that you can't really replicate in um, in life without that experience. Like I said, I'm not trying to say go get in a fight or start a fight club or something, but there is something, and this is for guys and girls,
Mhm.
where we, human beings, there is this physical part of us that wants to prove that we are strong and we can
Yep.
handle whatever kind of uncomfortable thing this is, besides growing up in these very comfortable, convenient lives that we have now, right?
Yeah.
So when you get bullied, when you get beat up, when you go through those things, I feel like it makes you a stronger person in the end.
Yeah. I told my niece this when she was maybe very early teens. I said, she was like having a bad, I can't remember why she was sad. She just, I just noticed she was at my parents' house, and I came to visit. Hey, and she just didn't look like her happy-go-lucky self.
Yeah.
And I just told her, like, look, this is what dad told me. Life is not fair. Somebody's going to want to punch you in the mouth eventually,
Yep.
because life sucks. But the thing is, you don't give up. You
Right.
find the good in it and move on. And she goes, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I'm like, okay, do you want me to punch you in the mouth so you know that what I mean? She goes, no. I'm like, okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, it's
Right.
people need to understand life sucks. That nothing's ever going to go perfectly the way you want it. Things
Right.
happen, crap happens, and most of the time, there's really nothing you can do about it, because it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like I said earlier, when I said, yeah, I need to stop this fighting. This is stupid, because there are consequences. I'm a chubby guy in prison. As Jim Norton said, I might be in a good accommodation for the boys. I'm like, I'm not the best looking guy out here, but man, these guys have not
Oh
seen a woman
shit.
in a while. Uh, I might be a treat for these boys. I can fight. I can fight, man. But I know if I can fight five giant guys coming after me,
Oh
and I
no.
can't run anywhere.
Nobody can, bro.
No,
Like,
no.
uh,
So yeah, and it's just that whole thing about thinking, like, I've been in too many of these. I just need to not go to this bar anymore, because it happened a few times to a couple bars I used to go to all the time
okay.
with me and my friends,
Yeah.
and somebody would just do something stupid, and my first thought was, hey man, you need to knock that off. He goes, what are you gonna do about it? Let's go outside. We'll do it. And it was at that time, it was definitely between, especially between 21 and 25, it was just like, we
Okay.
fight, we go outside, we're both hammered, some of us not as hammered as the other. When I didn't win all of them, I'm not saying I'm like the greatest, but
No.
I've been
Nobody
knocked
wins
out.
every fight, bro.
Well,
That's not real life.
except John Jones, but yeah, I don't
he
know.
still he still gets punched.
He
Okay.
still gets punched, but yeah, yeah, definitely. So, after that, we shook hands,
Yeah.
and winner buys a beer, loser.
Yeah.
That's what happened most of the time for us. And there was during that time, there's an air of respect for each other that you gain
Absolutely.
after, getting punched by or punching the guy in the mouth. And
Absolutely.
and then you go, and there's respect, and there's apologies saying, hey, I'm sorry I did
Yep.
this to your friend. I'm sorry I said that about your friend. So, and then you walk away, shook hands, and it was fine after that. There was nobody blogging about it, posting about it. It was
No,
just, you just walk
because
away.
there's a difference between there's the respect you get from a physical altercation like that with two people. There's, as long as both people are sane,
Mhm.
there's a respect you get that you cannot get from words. Like it just cannot happen.
No.
There's when you go physical confrontation with somebody. And this is honestly, I think it's every single fight I've been in my whole life. And I've probably been in 25. Not saying I'm a fighter, okay, but being 4 years in the Marine Corps, drunken fights are the commonest thing ever. Okay. So when you're done, it is the same thing you're talking about. I'm actually helping
Yeah.
the guy that, my enemy, quote unquote enemy,
Yeah.
up off the ground, or he's helping me up.
Yeah.
That's how you end the fight. And then whatever verbal altercation that you had that led to the physical is done.
Exactly.
You realize after this physical part, like, okay, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you said something, whatever, about this, and that's what led to this thing. But there's a huge air of respect, but it's the both of us have this thing inside of us, like, you know what? I built some confidence. I mean,
Mhm.
it's subconscious. You don't think about that at the time, but that's what happens. It really
Yeah.
does.
It really does.
And you get a little more comfortable with yourself, a little more like, yeah, I can handle myself in a real life situation,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. And that's why I'm all for it's like on Facebook, when I see my friends, I don't do much airsoft stuff on Facebook. I just try to keep that as a semi work, semi friend stuff, even though like I know Facebook people follow. I'm like, you're in the wrong place. Just go to my Instagram. That's where I do
Yeah.
all my this is me just sharing cat videos and whatnot. But but like whenever I see, I I highly recommend this for every parent. I don't have kids myself, but this is exactly what I do. I
Yeah.
see them taking their kids into martial arts classes,
Yeah.
whether it's karate and jujitsu or whatever. I'm like, take them. They need the best thing about martial arts classes. One, yeah, you'll learn how to throw a punch or a kick, but you'll learn discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, trust me, my knuckles know about discipline because of how many push-ups I did in that karate class.
Right.
And because I happen to like to talk and giggle during, especially my little my little a-hole friend who was next to me when we did regular push-ups. Every time we went down, he'd go poop.
Oh, Jesus.
While everybody else in the crowd was like going, ha, ha, and he's doing
Yeah.
that. And I'm just dying. And then so it's like, Mark, on your knuckles. I'm like, crap.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say, senseis, teachers, coaches, they don't like that shit, bro.
Oh hell no.
When they're putting you through some kind of, maybe it's not even punishment, but training, and you're making fun of it because it's too easy, bro, we're gonna make it harder for you.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like I really wish I went into the military, or I really wish my mom let me go in the military.
Yeah.
Because I would have loved. Every time I look at basic training, I'm like like any other like movie or film or whatever.
Sure.
We all, as men, we kind of judge ourselves to see how we would do. And right now, if I looked at it, I'm like, I'd be dead after the first hop. I'd get like 30 seconds in, and then I'm like, all right, I need to go home. But
I think a lot of guys really honestly go into the military just to see if they can pass boot camp. Like I think that's their main goal, and it was a big part of mine as well. I wanted to earn that title, but that wasn't. I didn't know what that meant until I got there. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, the only movie that I saw that was really intense that explained that before I came out, Full Metal Jacket. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Great.
that came out in like 86. I went in 89. So I watched that movie all the time, and I was like, yeah, that's what the fuck I want. And until I got to boot camp, and I was like, this is not what the fuck I want. I was like, bro, holy shit. When you have lack of sleep, lack of food, somebody, well, we had in the movie, they have one drill instructor. Of course, that was during Vietnam. I went in, late 80s. So we had 4 drill instructors. You don't catch a break, bro. It's I'm not saying it was harder than what the movie was, but It was, you know, it was a lot different. I was in really good shape, really good physical shape. I, wrestled, played football, and I prepped for boot camp. So I was doing shit tons of push-ups and running and stuff. But it doesn't really, it can be a little easier for me than somebody that's not that in shape or something. But they push you to your limit. Like if they see that you're doing well, like what you just said, you're doing push-ups and you're laughing. Yeah, go ahead, bitch. We're gonna okay, push-ups on your knuckles. If you're laughing about that, we're gonna make you do push-ups in the fucking parking lot on pavement on your knuckles until it hurts. Okay. We're gonna push you until you shut the fuck up. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, I could have told on that kid, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm
Good
not a
for
rat.
you.
I'm not a rat. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a team player.
Good.
And the biggest reason why, one of the reasons I almost joined the military right after September 11th.
Yeah.
Because my little sister was in the Air Force.
Oh, okay.
She served in the Air Force, and she didn't get deployed. Her husband did get deployed to Saudi Arabia, I believe.
Gotcha.
And I was about to join, and because and my best friend Lakin called me, says, "Hey man, you see the news?" And we just paused for a few seconds, and I go, "You want to meet me at the recruiter?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's what I was calling you about."
Oh shit.
And then my mom overheard it. And he goes, "Mark, I don't want you to go." I'm like,
yeah.
And we talked to dad. He goes, and my dad was totally cool with me going, but it's like, your mom doesn't want you to go.
Yeah.
Please don't go. We need your help here.
Yeah.
And we don't want you to get shot. We know you're a fighter, you can do this stuff, but we don't know what's going to happen. So I was like, dang it. And like in sync, my best friend calls me like later that night. He goes, "Yeah, my mom won't let me go either."
Yeah.
So yeah, and I get it. Yeah,
but that was a really unsure time though. I mean,
really
for somebody to go in at that time, I mean, there's your mom, bro. I went in when there was nothing really going on. We had Grenada that was kind of like a military kind of incursion thing in 83, and I went in 89. My mom was really adamant about me not going. Honestly, I would have listened to my mom had I not been beat up so much growing up. And also when I was 16, I loved football. I loved playing football. I played football when I was, I started when I was in 4th grade. It was 100% what I was meant to do at that time.
What position?
Middle linebacker.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And my objective was kill the quarterback.
Exactly.
And
I followed the fucking ball.
Exactly.
I was very focused on that. I loved it, bro. Yeah.
I only played one semester, but yeah, they said, "All right, you're big, you're dumb, you're slow, but you're strong as hell. Just go get the quarterback or the running back. That's on you." I did have my all Bundy moment. I got that one interception because I read the play for once in my life.
Nice.
And took it in for a 30-yard touchdown. So.
Oh shit, you got a pick 6, bro.
Yeah,
hell
brother.
Yeah.
So that was my 1-0. That was my last game, and I was like, all right, it's never gonna get any better than this. I'm out. I'm going to play hockey again.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, you went and played hockey. What is it? Field hockey? Ice hockey?
Roll hockey. I played a couple games, just pickup games for ice hockey, but I just could not get used to the ice. Like that scene in Mighty Ducks where the kid was trying to stop, but he couldn't. That was me.
Okay.
I was really fast because I got stupid strong legs.
So how did you get into hockey? Like, were you did you start out on rollerblades?
Yeah.
Like what?
I played in the Philippines. Basketball was one of the top sports.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was boxing, and basketball was somewhere around the top 5 probably.
Yeah.
So I played basketball when I was a kid. I loved it. And I got into what was it? Freshman and sophomore basketball. I was basically a point guard because I had good vision. I kind of knew where people were going to be, so I was a good passer, but I was good
Yeah.
at. I was a good, decent 3-point shooter. But this was 1991,
Okay.
92, or 93 in Los Angeles, and that's kind of when the Los Angeles Kings went to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh shit.
And I didn't know anything about hockey, and it just
Was
hopped on
this
TV.
was the Gretzky?
Yeah, this was when during the
Oh
Gretzky
my
era.
God.
So,
Yeah.
all the hype was on there, and then
Right.
after that, after one game, I was hooked. I was like, they're skating, they're fast. Oh my god, that guy's beating the crap out of that guy. And so it's like, my dad would like pay me for with help. He would pay me like $20, $30 here and there for helping him in construction,
Gotcha.
or whenever we started dealing furniture, he'd bump it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And or I'd ask him for something and he'd get that for me after a few jobs. So, and this time I told him, I want rollerblades. So he was helping one of the owners of the apartments, his friends, said, hey, can you fix this thing at their house? And basically it was just to change out electrical sockets. And I'm sitting here at 14 years old. He goes, Mark,
Yeah.
you can do this, right? And I'm like, yeah. So I go run to the garage and I hear the lady go, is he old enough to do this? He goes, he knows what he's doing. So here's me, here's both of us unlicensed
Yeah.
guys who just, one guy who just read all the books, and the other guy who just knows how to follow hand movements and directions, going to the garage, trying to find the switch for the
Yep.
back, and then turn it off, go over there, unscrew everything, replace everything. And I go, okay, I'm done. Turn it on, everything's fine. And then my dad says, okay, we'll see. And then like the next day, we went back over there. She go and they took me to Big Five Sports, and I bought a pair of rollerblades and a hockey stick,
Shit. Nice.
and I just taught myself how to skate. Got me myself a little one of those cheap plastic hockey pucks, and I was in the
Yep.
backyard of this apartment where there were like 6 potholes. I hit
Oh
and
God.
fell and hit and fell straight down and chin on asphalt.
Oh shit. Now, when you
Nothing.
got your blades, did you get the because when I bought my blades, I was in California still. In fact, I was still in. And this is 92, late 92. And so rollerblades were starting to,
Yeah.
pop up, and I was like, what the fuck are those,
Yeah.
But so I went and I got the now, because I played hockey in Cleveland, Ohio, ice hockey.
Nice.
I knew that falling forward, when you're skating, is a common thing. And on the ice we played on is not like, this is like tennis courts that filled with water and
Yeah.
froze in the winter. So this is rough. Okay, rough ice. Rough ice is like fucking glass. All right.
Yeah.
Anyone that has never played on it, if you fall on your hands when you're going whatever 8 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour on your skates, and you fall forward and you have no gloves and nothing on your hands, the palm of your hands right at the base gets cut up as a motherfucker.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So the first thing I bought when I got my rollerblades was they had these wrist straps that went up, halfway up your forearm.
Mhm.
And had a plastic, and they were, I don't know, nylon or some shit with Velcro. But it went over your thumb.
Oh, yeah. I know
Thumb
what you're talking
hole.
about.
And
Yeah.
then they had a really thick plastic kind
Yep.
of rounded bump stop or whatever for your palm of your hand. So I got those as well. So when I fell, because I was learning how to do rollerblading, and rollerblading, dude, it's faster than ice skating if you're on like a smooth surface,
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
a basketball court or, something that's very smooth. And
Yeah.
I was really shocked at how fast it would go, because ice skating can go pretty fast.
Yeah.
But, because it cuts into the ice, but the shit would go fast as hell. So when I would fall on those.
Yeah.
And I'd put them down, kind of raise your hands up out of the way, and you would just slide on them. And I was like, holy shit, this is great. No fucking asphalt burn, no ice cuts. It was great. So
Yeah.
did you get the wrist covers? Oh Jesus. So when you hit a pothole,
It was
your fucking
and so I
hands
hit a
are,
pothole.
bro.
Yeah, I have so many just scars and
Yeah,
from
elbows
just like
and
my knees are shot.
hands.
And I didn't wear like I in California. I lived there till my freshman year in high school, so 92, 93, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Or very early 90s, and I moved to California, and I never really got to play. I only got to play hockey 2 times in there. It's because near the end of the semester, my high school, my freshman year, I found out one of my good friends in school. His name was Tigran, and he said, "Yeah, we play hockey all the time. You want to come join us?" Yeah, I'm like, "We're going this weekend." I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to. Can you rent skates?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to." Okay, I got a crappy stick. Who cares? I'll let you borrow one of mine. And he was just skinny little kid who was just fast as hell. I'm this
Yeah.
guy trying to figure out how to stand up on ice. So and then I finally figured it out after a few minutes. I still couldn't stop worth a damn. I'm surprised I didn't like snap my ankle and like just completely turned it, because yeah, I didn't know what to do. But I played there, and then same time around the near the end of the year too, we had our one of our last jobs, and this guy, we were delivering furniture at the time.
Yeah.
So I was a little kid hauling up a sleeper sofa up 3 floors in an apartment just because I could.
Oh my God.
I'm paying for it now.
Those are, dude, those
Yeah.
are horrible.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, definitely.
Metal frames in them.
Yeah, they weighed a ton. But yeah, I definitely was able to get the smaller ones out there, but not that we had this one at Wix Furniture called Black Death. It was just it,
It
it
was
was
like the heaviest.
it was
It
the
had
biggest,
recliners built in.
most yeah. It
Oh
had
God.
the recliner on what it was, an L-shaped sofa.
Yep.
So you had the recliners on one side, you had the big sleeper sofa, and just that sleeper sofa was Black Death, because
Oh
most of the
my
time it
God.
took 3 people to take that up there. It took 2 of us because it was my dad and myself, and I'd usually read the maps, and my his helper Willie, and he because my dad after a while he tore his ACL, so he needed me to go.
Right.
So I said, okay, this is what I'll do. I don't have a job, so I'm 14 years old. Okay,
Right.
and I've got nothing to do on Saturday. I play basketball with my friends on Sunday. All right, fine, I'll earn a little money. So my dad hurt his knee, so I was just helped him out, and yeah, we ended up taking that up there. So, but yeah, it was a mess. I hated that. I still to this day hate that damn sofa. But yeah, so anyway, one day Willie couldn't come in, so we had this other guy help us. His name was Dave, and he told me, "Hey, I see I was wearing my one of my Los Angeles Kings t-shirts, and or one of the knockoff ones. We found it as swap meet somewhere,
Right.
and he said, "Oh, you like hockey?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're playing a game. I coach I coach the little Pee Wee League. You want to come?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to come. I want to see." So what do you know? I'm like, "I don't know anything, man." Okay. I just want you to, like, here's the instructions. Here's kind of the drills we want to do. Why don't you help these kids out with them? I'm like, okay, so they just got to do this. So I partially coached a little Pee Wee League of like
Oh
8, 10
shit.
year olds at 14. And then I skated with him and played with him and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. So that was kind of my first uh, games in hockey. But I ended up finding, when I moved to Texas, I ended up finding this was around the time with the start, like a couple years after. I moved to Texas around 94,
Okay.
and this is when the Stars were like just moved to Texas. They made the playoffs a couple years
Yeah.
before, made it to the final, but lost. So I ended up getting a job at Kroger, with the grocery store, and
Gotcha.
I met some friends there, and that's where I met my band. That's where I met my hockey friends. So it's like that store, as much as I hated working there, like
Yeah.
those two things like came together and perfectly, and just molded the adult that I was going to be. But yeah, so I had my
Oh,
hockey
that's
friends.
wild.
We got kicked out of a lot of tennis courts because those those metal rails, those metal frames, man, they tear that they can tear that tennis court up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I played a lot of that. We played in a couple tournaments. They used to have the NHL Breakout Series. It was basically a 4-on-4 hockey tournament that the NHL threw, but we got banned.
Oh shit.
Because one of my friends was too tired and like headbutted a guy because we were losing bad. I mean, I got, it was like 6-1. This guy, there was this one guy on the team that just beat everybody. He was just going around everybody.
Yeah.
He was so good. I'm like, this guy plays amateur, or at least
Right.
at most the for somebody big, but he just schooled all of us. I'm like, this guy's badass. And then my friend, he got in front of him, grabbed him, and like headbutted him. And then I'm sitting there going, and then like everybody's like freaking out. I'm like, what the? So I rush in there.
Yeah.
And I see one of the guys, their team, coming after me, but I was going after my buddy. I go, what the hell is wrong with you? Why? He goes, and then they just like took off. And then my buddy and my other buddy just like disappeared. They were gone. And I like ran down. I took my jersey off and like I was helping the guy up.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what the hell happened. I'm so sorry, dude. Dude, I'll help you, man. Come on, let's go. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I have clean him up. So yeah, so our team was banned from
Oh shit.
It didn't help that we would drink heavily the night before. And during the 2-hour break that we had between games, because we played 3 games that day. So our first game was at 9 o'clock in the morning. Second game was at 10.
Yeah.
Our next game was like at 1 or something. So he goes, hey, there's a Chili's over there. You want a drink? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we played two of those tournaments. The second one we didn't win anything, but we won 2 games out of all those, but then we got banned. So I kind of it's sort of a badge of honor because I'm not the one who really did it, but it's like, yeah, we got kicked out of there. I'm a team player, man.
For sure, bro. Well, I feel like back then, those are when that kind of stuff happens, it is a badge of honor when you get kicked out of somewhere, you know, for something like that. That is, you know, hey, fights were more accepted back then. So, you know, just random, like in public situations, whatever, not including riots over the last how many years, but the fights that we got into, you know, back then, they were more socially accepted. Like, if you told somebody, like, it was a badge of honor to get kicked out of somewhere that, you know, and I was kind of like you were saying, you know, metalhead, you know, any of that kind of music. I was into punk, you know, music from Britain, UK, England, whatever. And of course, America, where, you know, punk rock was like, fuck the government, you know, you know, the Sex Pistols. And of course, later on, when I went in the military, it was Metallica, which had a lot of songs that were politically, like, militarily motivated, and you know, that kind of thing. U2, I was a huge U2 fan, so they were, almost all their songs are politically motivated. You know? So it was, you know, all of that kind of, and of course, so the 80s big hair bands, you know, and the heavy, you know, what was back then the heavy metal bands, not the metal of today, but back then, you know, Van Halen, Ozzy, you know, all that kind of shit was, you know, Rat, yeah, all that kind of shit was you know, heavy metal. So, or hard rock, I guess, what we called it. But you know, a lot of those, you know, were, it was kind of hey, this is okay to buck the system a little bit. And you should buck the system, because we've seen how if the people don't buck the system a little bit, politicians can be very corrupt and just whatever. So the people need to speak out sometimes, and that's what happens. So that was kind of the music that spawned you know, our actions as well, with these fights. And like, dude, we got kicked out of this place over here. Like, Yeah, everyone's cheering you, not like putting you down. Second, hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, for me too. And like you were saying it earlier, whenever I moved from Philippines to California,
Yeah.
I still remember the first black kid I ever met.
Yeah.
And his name was Cameron, and he was the nicest guy, and we were
Yeah.
some best of friends. And whenever I moved to the ghetto, that apartment, it was mostly black and Hispanic families,
Yeah.
and all of my friends are black and Hispanic. So
Right.
and it's because that came from my dad, because
Yeah. Well, it was very
he didn't
different for
care.
you.
Exactly, it was different, but it didn't feel different.
No,
And
once
now,
you, well, it was different when you first see somebody
mhm,
like that because that's not what you grew up around.
mhm.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah,
Okay, they look different, but we're all the same.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
had the same
definitely.
experience. I was 11, went to a new church, and I remember the first black kid I ever met. I was 11 years old that I can remember. I might have met him when I was younger because my dad worked in a factory, and he had friends over all the time for dinner and stuff, their family and stuff. And he worked with a lot of black guys that he have over, but I don't remember meeting anyone and like that until I was 11. And I remember to this day, I remember shaking this kid's hand. He was the same age as me. His dad was, him and my dad knew each other. They went to the same church that we had just, joined or whatever. And they were over here talking. And I remember meeting this kid and I shook his hand. I mean, look, bro, this is 19, what was I, 11? I was 1981. There's no internet. There's nowhere to find information. So I literally, after I shook his hand, I looked at my hand. I thought the color would rub off on both of us, on mine, on his, and his on mine.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know. That's how naive I was. So,
Mhm.
but we became the best of friends for like 3 years that we were,
Yeah,
in that church and stuff where they were at. So, yeah, and it was just all of that kind of thing was a learning experience, like fresh and new,
yeah,
because you don't have any outside information going into it. And my parents were very open, so I didn't get taught any kind of prejudice
yeah.
against any race at that age. So there was no talk in my family of this color person does this or this color
Mhm.
person does that or whatever. Even though my dad was in the Navy during Korean War, there was no talk of categorizing certain types of people doing whatever. So I had no preconceived notions of any other skin color person,
Yeah,
acting or being a certain way. So I had nothing to go on. So when I met this kid, it was all fresh and new experiences, and it was cool. It was so
yeah,
cool. Like,
yeah,
okay, I mean, it was one of those things where you look so different. You go, okay, so do you like this? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, holy shit.
yeah,
Okay, well, what about this? Yep. Like, oh my God. Like you almost think like an alien, like you're
yeah,
meeting
yeah,
like somebody from a different world.
yeah, yeah. And definitely for me, for Cameron and I, it was the love of Transformers, because I saw his backpack.
There you go.
He had a blue backpack with the Autobot symbol and
Nice.
Optimus on. I was like, you and I are going to be best of friends, and we were for that year that I was there. But
Nice.
yeah, and yeah, like you said, he's like, parents were open. Same thing
Yeah.
with us.
Yep.
Um, there was not 1 ounce of negativity against any other race, any other religion. They,
Right.
of course, with religious people, sometimes they have their comments about this certain religion, this, that, and everybody does.
Well, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Catholics can be a little judgmental. Oh, honey, they're sinners, but we love them anyway.
yeah, I've heard not from my parents, but man, I've heard some things.
Oh, for sure.
And sadly, I've like my dad. He's like I said, he's very intelligent. He's read every Bible of every religion out there. He
Yeah.
goes, it's like, no, but everybody has their own opinion.
Yeah.
You just choose whichever one's yours. And for me, it's just like, I'm gonna see what happens. I don't
Right.
care. I don't care. And because I'm the type of guy that says if it's not in front of me, it's not there, but it's still sort of kind of in here, maybe in here as well. So it's less like
Right.
I'm gonna live my life the way I feel like it and
Yeah.
see what happens. If it happens, I know I'm hopefully I'm a good enough person when the day I die happens. So
Yeah.
if there is a heaven, cool. And if there is a hell, hopefully I don't end up down there.
Well, growing up like that, do you, and kind of going through your life now and where you're at now, do you believe in an afterlife?
I don't
Like as it's explained in the Bible, like a real kind of heaven and a real
man.
kind of hell.
It's like
It's
I
hard to
could I
say,
could say
right?
I could say no, but nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
And every time I have this type of conversation with somebody about death, it reminds me of this one story I read of this guy dies because he shot himself in the mouth because he had a drunken bet with his friends that there's a heaven and a hell.
Oh shit.
And it was like they recorded it on audio or something. I
Yeah.
wish I could find that article because that
Oh,
was kind of the
I'd
most
love to hear it.
I heard it on the radio station. Like this is when I was
Okay.
because after a while I was just a truck driver. I drove freight around the southern part of the U.S. So there was a lot of cigarettes, Red Bull, and caffeine pills, and a lot of different radio stations being taken that back then.
Vibrant. Yeah.
Yeah, Vibrant was my jam.
Bro.
But yeah, it was so I heard that story. So every time I think about, death, that's the first thing that pops in my head is like, I bet you there's a heaven and hell. They did a skit on it on there, and it was like,
Yeah.
this is awful, but it's funny as hell. But yeah, it's really for that, it's really something nobody really knows.
Nobody knows,
Um,
dude.
so I'm not gonna worry about it. I know
I don't either.
I'm gonna try and be a good person, not do anything stupid, and hopefully I ended up in that place. But if not,
Yeah.
I might just be worm food. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'll go with somewhat of a reincarnation to where I become
Well, that's
nutrients.
what I was going to ask you about the reincarnation because my dad's mom is Indian, American Indian,
Mhm.
Crow,
Yeah,
and a lot of the American Indians have this this balanced kind of belief of the universe, the world, nature, where we go back into it and refeed it, and reincarnation basically. Um, Not so specific as reincarnation, like, oh,
mhm.
you will become a worm
Yeah,
or a
yeah.
grasshopper or whatever. But basically the whole thing is a balance, which honestly, at my age now, looking back on what I've learned, I've read the whole Bible, the Catholic Bible, from front to back. I wanted to study everything about it because I had so many questions. I remember when I was 12, I asked my mom, why would God, uh, his two first humans that he made, right, Adam and Eve, if he is our loving father, right, quote unquote father, um, why would he allow the devil to tempt them? And I'm thinking, what, like, that doesn't make any sense to me. If they're kind of like toddlers in their world, like
Yeah.
they're still learning, and he gave them these rules, and they rules don't mean shit without testing those rules, right? So uh why would you let your arch enemy, like the ultimate worst person or thing or whatever, entity in the universe, test them while they're toddler, while they're still learning? I had all these questions, and my mom, bro, she's like, you asked why about everything. I'm like, I can't help it. I want to know, how do we figure this out? So, but yeah, was always interested in that kind of thing, growing up. So it really formed my religious beliefs, life beliefs, later on in life with my kids and everything. So it's the same thing I taught my kids, like, bro, especially after going, I spent a year in Japan, a couple months in Korea, talking with people that, and in honest, in Okinawa, there's a lot of Philippines,
Mhm.
a lot of Filipinos over there.
Yeah.
I think I learned 2 words in Tagalog. Is that the
Yeah.
language you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Skoshi Chimpo and something else I can't remember, but
Oh,
small
I'm sorry.
dick, small dick.
It's good. I
Oh,
am
no,
so
no, hold on. They didn't tell me that I'd had that, but I just
man. It sucks because I am such a Twinkie. I'm yellow on the outside but white on the inside
oh
because
yeah. Well, you've been here
I've been here
so
forever.
long.
And
Yeah.
my dad, when every time the subject comes up of me not having trouble speaking the language, my dad, we had a conversation a long time ago because like every couple of years, my dad and I will have a serious conversation about life
Yeah.
and stuff. Like maybe a decade ago, we had this conversation. It's like, yeah, I wish I could remember because my grandmother, rest in peace, she of my mom's side, came to visit us for a year,
Yeah.
and she's this little old lady, and like even in this, even from about September till March, she always had a coat on because she was so not used to the weather here.
Right.
And I was really nervous about seeing her again after 15, 20 years, and
Sure.
not speaking the language on a regular basis. And
Gotcha.
my dad says, I'm sorry, that was my fault because we were preparing you to live in the US. And
For
in
sure.
the Philippines, almost a lot of Filipinos are bilingual.
Yeah.
So whenever you hear like somebody speaking in Tagalog, they're like bada, 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 cheeseburger, bada, 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 sandwich and
Coke.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
it just happens like that. But he knew we were moving here, so he kind of kept it in there. But he wishes he did speak more Tagalog towards me, and same thing with the family.
Yeah.
So, but eventually, when she finally got here, uh, it took me a month to finally get the speech patterns, get the words, get the sentence going. It wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of that. So,
Sure.
but it did come back to me eventually. So thank God for that. But yeah, it was a good time.
Well, my oldest daughter, she's my second child. She was in the Air Force. She met her husband in the Air Force in Mississippi, and they were both stationed there. Well, he's half black and half Filipino. His mom's Filipino, his dad's black, and so she knows Tagalog, you know. So she never speaks it unless she gets pissed off and yells at him.
Yeah,
So,
it happens.
and I'm like, oh shit. We're all, the only time we get together is like a family thing. If we're
Yeah.
all, meeting in somewhere, or whatever. But, and she'll say some things, and I'm like, I think I remember a couple of those words
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Okinawa.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I wish I paid attention. I wish I kept up with it and learned more languages because it's just I like learning some stuff, but like I said, my memory retention just sucks. I took a year of Spanish in high school and it's all
Yeah.
gone. And I know the basics, but
Right.
man, if you want me to have a conversation, I'm just gonna say, I don't know, man.
You know what? I'm really good at being inspired to start something, but not follow through with it. So I'll do it for 2 weeks, like fucking gung ho, baby.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
doing this
Oh yeah.
forever. And then after 2 weeks, I'm like, yeah, I'm bored. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm that's why I have like 300 different hobbies, man, because I get bored.
right.
That's why my dad uh he did a lot of odd jobs, but he especially when he was working at that apartment, he did
Yeah,
everything.
I'm sure.
Everything from
Carpet cleaning, ripping
carpet,
out
carpentry,
carpet,
electric,
flooring,
all.
electrical,
Yeah, and it was
plumbing.
because I asked him about that one day, and I just said because I get bored,
Yeah.
It's like I can learn. He's definitely one of the guys who's a renaissance man of some sorts, because he was extremely intelligent, knew about pretty much anything, and he
Yeah.
could learn things real fast. Like I'm definitely leaning more towards the jack of all trades, to where I know a lot of things, but I know a lot of things, but I'm not a master of anything.
Yeah.
That's why I'm, you know, so I'm glad I got that from him, because now I know whenever I get bored, I got like some other thing I could be doing.
Sure.
So yeah.
I mean, that's most of us, the
Mhm.
jack of all trades, master of none kind of
Mhm.
thing. Like the masters of one thing are the elite kind of, in their field.
Mhm.
And we look up to them. We
Yeah.
should. Like
Yeah.
that is it's something that we want to attain, that kind of focus, but really those people that are like that, they don't actually think of themselves as like, I didn't really put this much focus into it.
Yeah.
I just found what I liked,
Mhm.
and that's what I did, you
Yeah.
know? So it
Yeah.
didn't feel like a shit ton of work. Most of them, it didn't feel like work for what they were doing, because they enjoyed, what they were doing. So it's still work, but
Mhm.
in the process. But yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
It's like this podcast. I'm definitely not a podcaster.
Hey,
I do
hey
podcasts,
man,
but I
hey,
don't know how to do podcasts.
hey, I found you on Spotify, and as my boss at work is also one of my best friends, because we kind of started the same, and we realized we're kind of the same people,
Yeah.
because we're stupid competitive, and we were either going to work together or kill each other,
Oh shit.
because we're two old school type of guys.
Yeah.
He's like a 5 years younger than I am, but
Gotcha.
he definitely grew up with hard labor in his hands,
Right.
and grew up with that attitude at work too. So I'm like, all right.
Uh-huh.
And then we just found some common ground. We laughed at this tree. I'm not going to say why, but and uh and that's when we said, you know what, we're going to be best friends, because we just both laughed at the stupid tree with a really weird shape. I'm not exactly sure why there was a knot hole of some weird type of shape, but
Yeah.
we ended up just laughing at it like really hard for a good 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So um so yeah, what was I talking about?
Now, was this the guy that you gave that you've been friends with at Kroger since
Oh
like you
no,
were
no, no.
16? Oh, okay.
No, this is a new guy. When I
Okay.
started at this job, and then he came in like a month after me, because they needed help. So, and I was
Gotcha.
started helping him out. So, but the
Gotcha.
guy at Kroger, we're still good friends. I have a video of me taking him out 2 weeks ago for his very first airsoft game.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't see that one. I saw the
It's not
one
up yet.
where,
It's not up yet.
okay,
It's not
I
up yet.
saw the one where you canceled some kind of order you had from Airsoft GI, and ordered a mystery box
Mhm.
for
Yeah, yeah,
him
yeah.
because you've known him since you were 16,
Yep.
and worked at Kroger together, and you wanted to help him get started in airsoft because he said, "Hey, I'm finally interested in airsoft," or something
Yep.
like that, basically.
Yep. Yeah. And that was really kind of the paying him back for him helping me out, and
Mm,
what, because we used to live in an apartment together,
okay.
and after what was it, 9/11? Yeah, because we were both at our parents' house. He the trucking industry, the shipping industry, all went to crap. Nobody wanted to buy anything, nobody went to ship anything. Like I was making close to 85 a year
Mhm.
just from doing that, because we'd work constantly, take it one day off and just keep working.
Yeah,
But there were 70-hour, 80-hour work weeks there, and I loved it.
sure.
I liked it. It was it was freedom. We're contractors, so we had to do our taxes all crazy and pay for our own repairs, but it was free.
Yeah,
That was the freest I've ever felt at a job, because I did what I wanted
gotcha.
and nobody bothered me unless I
You're
was
talking
running
about
late.
truck driving.
Yeah, yeah, driving
Yeah.
across the southern part of the U.S.
Okay.
Delivering freight from warehouse to warehouse, and it was fun.
Right.
I liked it. I miss the social aspect, of
Mm-hmm.
life. But as soon as I had a night out, if I didn't happen to go out of the state, it's like, cool, let's go drink, and I'll be up at 5 o'clock in the morning getting ready to work. So
Yeah.
and rest on a Sunday and be good for Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, after gas prices went up like crazy, shipping went hell. I went from making almost around 85 a year down to like 30.
Yeah.
Like like I did a calculation the one time I was decent at math when it really affected my wallet. I did like the calculation of, okay, this is how much we're spending, this is how much I spend on fuel.
Yeah.
Holy crap, I'm gonna make like 30K this year. So
Oh my God. You were
yeah,
independent driver.
yeah, yeah. My dad,
Holy shit. Yeah.
my dad had 5 trucks.
Oh wow.
He had five trucks. He had 3 in California and 2 here in Texas.
Yeah.
And I had he bought one for me, and so I was an independent contractor. So yeah,
Yep.
it went to crap, and then we had 3 months left on our apartment lease. So it's like, man, I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy was a manager of an Olive Garden. So, and he was he a manager? Yeah. So he made pretty dang good money. So he
Yeah.
covered me for a few months. And I said, I'm sorry, here, I'll give you what I can, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of it, I was ready to pay him back. He goes, don't worry about it, man. You're good.
Mm.
But for me, it's like uh a
You're
Lannister
still,
always pays his debts.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this Chonko will definitely pay his debts,
Yeah.
and this was kind of one of the ways that I'm doing that. So I said,
Well, you're a giver, not a taker. So that,
yeah,
if somebody does something like that for you, it's always going to be in the back of your mind. You're always going to want to pay it back or pay it forward or, make it even. Yeah.
yeah. Well, the first thing on my mind is usually, what do you want from me? As a young chubby Asian kid who grew up in the hood, there's an ulterior motive of somebody wanting to steal your crap.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Especially,
Bro, speaking of that, when we moved to I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and then of course in the military, and then went back to Cleveland, and then we moved here to South Carolina 15 years ago. When the first month we moved here, the street we live on, when people are like this Southern hospitality thing, when they drive down the road, everyone just waves. If you're standing on the front porch or anyone's outside, they just wave when they're driving by. And I'm like,
yep.
I don't take that as my first, couple months here. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm really skeptical. I'm like, do you know them? No. Why the fuck they waving? Like, I'm ready to okay, lock everything down. They're casing our house. Fuck these bitches. Okay. I don't trust anyone. This is not something that's normal where I came up,
Yeah.
If somebody's nice when they're walking down the street, the next week they're trying to break in your fucking house. So when we got to South Carolina, I was the same way. And I was like, oh, they really are fucking nice. Like they're just, hey, what's up? I'm like, holy shit. I've had literally in 15 years, probably 20 times strangers pull into the driveway because we're outside, we have, 20, 30 people here for a party, and they'll pull in and be like, hey, what's going on? We live down the street, I'm like, yeah, come on, man. You want a beer, and we make new friends. But the first couple months, I'd have been like, get the fuck out of here. I got my gun right here, bro. I'll shoot your ass. So
I understand that. It's like, I'm glad I grew up as a nice kid, as a friendly person, but you take that naive little friendly kid, throw him in the ghetto. Oh, here's one of them. Surprised it took her this long to get
there
up.
you go.
The other one's probably sleeping or puking somewhere. And I'll find it when I wake up early in the morning, take a piss.
You'll
and I
step on it. It'll go between your big toe and your middle
exactly.
toe. Okay.
Every time. but yeah, but this is lady. I am an animal person, not just a dog guy, not just a cat guy.
Yeah.
But I only
I
got
love
tricked.
I love animals too.
Yeah, same here. I got tricked into getting the second cat. My friend found a box of kittens out in the middle of nowhere
Oh shit.
while they were doing that Google thing, whatever the hell that was. Oh, geocaching, whatever that is. I don't know what these kids are
Geocache?
doing.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
I have no
fun,
idea what it
bro.
is. That sounds like a lot more work than I want to put into.
Dude, it's fucking fun. Me and my kids did a couple times when I was coming out of being sick and I was able to walk again. I was looking for something to do, whatever. We did a geocache. I was like, oh, I found this thing. It's like a scavenger hunt thing
Mm,
all across the world. Like not just, in each state, like across the world. And they
yeah,
have these, dude, it was fun. It's fun. But anyway,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, but she found a box of kittens, and I thought about like, no, I'm kind of planning to get a dog next year. And
Okay.
most apartments only allow two pets maximum.
Uh
So, and then like November of that year, she said he's the last one, and he's like the sweetest one. He's kind of dumb too, and
yeah.
she just kept texting me, and I'm like, I know we work together, but quick texting me
Mm,
this shit. But eventually, she said, I can't remember what he said, but it just like said, all right, I'm getting this little guy. And so and to me, the funniest part of it was me being an Asian looking man of Filipino and mixed Chinese and Spanish.
yeah.
Uh, Met her in front of a Chinese restaurant, and she was giving me a cat.
Shit. Hey, bro. Most people don't know what that means, but I'm gonna tell you right now. When I was in Japan, when I was in Okinawa,
Mm,
we they they didn't have cats as pets. Okay,
no,
no,
yeah,
that's what we were eating on Friday night when we were drinking, and they had chicken cacciatore or whatever, on the stick,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, no, you see a
yeah.
stray cat in Okinawa on the main street when we're out there, you see it one night, the next night, bro,
Oh
he
yeah,
gone.
yeah. It's funny because I grew up in the Philippines, and dogs were food,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
we did have our own pet dog.
Yeah,
But I remember because we lived in these apartments. My dad managed these apartments, and they're basically condos. And I used to walk down the street to the pool hall, uh, and watch the people play pool there.
yeah,
And then because we had a champion pool player for a long time, a Filipino pool player for a long
nice.
time. It was
Yeah,
I think his name was Efren or Edwin. I can't remember, but I can never remember his name. But and I still remember one day just walking down there and just looking to my right at this, a barrel with fire coming out of it and a dog hanging by
yeah,
its leg over the fire.
yeah,
And I just said, hey, I just waved at him and just kept walking, and it was nothing to me.
yeah,
And then, that thought process, the thought about you shouldn't do that to your pet cats or dogs or whatever, came when I moved to the US. And then I tell my friends about it. They were like, what? Like,
yeah,
and he goes, like, if guys being guys will make fun of you, your race or family, whatever. When
sure,
you're good friends, you do that to each other. That's how it goes.
exactly.
And then, he goes, yeah, well, your country eats dogs. I'm like, yeah, it's actually true.
Yeah,
I've seen it happen. So, that doesn't work on me. Sorry.
no, it doesn't hurt my feeling. Like that's no, it's yeah, that was a normal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we went to Korea for a couple months and we went to the snake thing. I know nobody has, or most people don't have, snakes as pets or whatever. I
Mm,
love snakes. It's one of my favorite animals out there.
yeah.
But we went and they had like a cobra mongoose show or whatever, a fight
Yeah.
in a pit. And they had this little tiki bar set up where we went. And they had a rope, like a string hanging up, and it'd have a dead snake hanging over it, right? Clothespinned or hung on it somehow. But it would be draining the blood into a bottle. They cut the head off or whatever, and they would you would drink that. They would serve that as a shot. You could
Mhm.
drink, you could have a shot of snake blood, because in that culture, which I'm not sure if that's a similar kind of belief in the Philippines, but
No.
you consume the spirit of the animal.
I'm
And
sure there were some parts. We were definitely more city type folks. So
okay,
I'm sure that if I dig deep enough, there's something out there similar to that because I've heard a lot
right,
of stories growing up.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's you get the spirit of the animal. So we would do a shot of snake blood, cobra blood, obviously without the venom, because when you tell people that, they're like, like they think they don't understand how a snake works, with their
Mhm.
venom sacs and their
That's right here. Mhm.
right in their head. So they think their blood is poison. So you drank snake poison? No, I drank snake blood. But anyway, we do
Mhm.
a shot of snake blood when we were in Korea. But yeah, it was a real common thing. These animals hanging from whatever, uh, the cats in Okinawa, dogs where you're at. I never saw a dog in Okinawa, but I think that they did the same thing there, because we never saw stray dogs. Um, and I'm sure there's dogs in
Yeah.
Okinawa, Japan. So, but yeah, that was, of course, like I said, this is 1990, 91. I was there. Um, but yeah, that's a cultural thing that is very common
Yeah.
with whatever kind of animal is, common to their habit, habitat or whatever you call it. It's that's
Yeah.
what they grow up
Mhm.
with. I mean, we had cows,
Yep.
here in America, we have cows, lambs, chickens, and then we learned how to mass produce the shit. So they farm the hell out of it. It's not natural, whatever they're doing. They
Hmm.
they so, but people get so weird about the dog thing, bro. I was playing
Yeah.
a game. You're a gamer, so I played Division 2. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite games, and so in Division 2, they have, when you're running through the streets to go to whatever location, there's a bunch of stray animals, deers, raccoons, little foxes, and all kind of shit. Dogs as well. Well, me and my buddy are playing. He's a dog lover, and I've known this guy for 12 years. Right, we're really good friends, and we're playing, and I'm just shooting everything that moves as we're bored. Okay, we're going from mission to mission. We're trying to accomplish this control points or whatever
Yeah.
on the map. Okay, so in between, and there's a lot of places where you can't fast travel,
Yeah.
closer to that control point, so you have to run. So anything that starts running out of the trash can, it's a raccoon, I shoot it. Fucking deer, shoot it. Dogs, I shoot them. This motherfucker goes nuts. This is my friend who knows me for 12 years. And he starts flipping out like I shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, bro, it's a fucking game. Like, I shoot humans in this game, and you're not saying anything. Like, what? I don't get it.
Oh
Uh,
man, yeah, I still have a hard time shooting dogs or when a dog dies in or cat or animal dies in a video game. I still feel terrible about it. It's like, oh man,
I
my
must be detached because I don't. Because
yeah,
I'm just like, it's a game, bro. Like,
yeah, I do, but it's like I get into stories,
well, that's
especially
different.
if it's
That's different.
yeah, especially if there's a
If it's
story
part of the
part to it.
cutscene or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, and
Remember
um
in Call of Duty, the way they made, where you, in the story mode, in the campaign mode, where a dog attacks you, the way you had to kill the dog, that was different. That made you feel something, like it was really intense, and you didn't want to,
oh god, yeah. Oh
because
God.
of the dog, but you had to
Yeah,
survive. Like you couldn't
survive.
get past. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was easier to get through. But
yeah.
it's like I'm playing Red Dead Redemption and I see a cat get run over by a damn dragon. I'm like, what the cat was right there. Why did you hit it? You know,
Uh,
and like attachment to movies, like there's certain scenes, especially like the good Marvel movies, I'll just start welling up right here, man.
oh
It's like
Jesus.
because I can watch any movie, no matter how bad it is,
Yeah.
and find some sort of enjoyment in it. And once I'm into it, I love it. And then once I'm into a movie and it's really good, I get emotionally attached to it. So it's just like
Yeah.
I'll be that guy when Aunt May dies and I'm sitting here doing this one day at the theater and hopefully looking around saying nobody's looked, nobody saw because everybody's crying too.
Oh shit. Well, before we start our podcast, I today at work I was busting up concrete. So tile and in a bathroom, I was ripping out all this concrete, subfloor, the backing board. Well,
Mhm.
you probably
Yeah.
did some of this shit. Okay, so when you put tile up in a bathroom, typically you put instead of drywall,
Mhm.
you put up backing board or the backer board. So it's like mixed with concrete with this little foam stuff with
Yeah.
thread and all that kind of shit. So when it's great putting it up because it's already formed. You just slap it up, screw it in, put the tile on, whatever. When you're ripping it out, it says "fuck you, bitch." Okay,
Mhm.
so there's a ton of dust. Well,
Yeah.
so I'm sitting on the couch. My wife and I we were watching Monday Night Football, and I'm rubbing I'm like, oh, dude, all this concrete dust. And she's like, and so I was kind of stuffy and my eyes were watering. And she's like, she was making a joke. She's like, we've been together 30 years. And she's like, it's okay, honey. You don't have to cry. I'm like, I know. I think I need to cry to clear my sinuses out. And I said, tell me something that would make me cry so I can clear my sinuses out before this podcast. So I don't need to be sniffing on here all the time. And she's like, I don't think anything makes you cry. And I was like, oh, that's not good.
I'm not gonna say sociopath, but
I mean, come on now. I'm animated. I'm emotional. I'm passionate. I just I have a hard time finding something. I really do get attached to things.
Mhm.
Uh, but the only time I've cried during like a movie or emotional thing or whatever is when I'm drinking. When I'm not
Oh yeah,
drinking,
that's even
I
worse.
am like, eh.
Bro, I cried when Optimus Prime died in the very first Transformers movie
I
in
did choke up.
1986.
I
Oh,
choked up with
dude,
that one.
I saw it in 1990
Yeah.
because I rented it from Cox Video. I'm like, oh my god, they made a GI Joe and a Transformers movie. Sweet. So I watched GI Joe first because then I grew up with that cartoon.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, Transformers, how good is this going to be? And then he died, and I'm sitting in the living room just bawling. And then the Michael Bay movies came out and ruined all that. So yeah,
That ruined everything, bro.
yeah,
Well, it made it Hollywood.
it's no, it just made it bad.
Yeah.
It was just terrible. I'm the one midnight release movie I ever went to, and it was that one.
Oh
I'm
Jesus.
still mad about that. And both of my friends are that I went with are too.
Oh shit. Well, did you have good movie theater popcorn at least?
No, we were too drunk to order anything, so we were coming. We went to Denny's and before there, and it's like, yeah, all right, let's have a few drinks, and a few shots later, we're at the movie theater, just standing there, and
Oh
me just
God.
getting mad,
Yeah.
just madder and madder by the end of the film. So yeah, it looked good,
Yeah.
but
Well,
that's
that's
really
how I've
it.
been with this the new Lord of the Rings series that
I
came
gave
out.
it 2 episodes and I'm out.
Bro, I did the exact same thing. So the first towards the end of the first one, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give the second one a chance because I read all the books and I read the Silmarillion. Okay. I mean, I read everything I could on that series. And And so when this came out, I was excited. First episode, I'm like, okay. I'll give the second one a chance. And then, bro, by the end, I was like, the last half of the second episode, my wife and I are watching it. Now she's used to me commenting during movies or shows, especially, military movies that don't, modern
Yeah.
day military movies that don't follow like I'm like, what the fuck? That wouldn't happen. You have to, if you want to do something that's outside of normal our universe laws, rules like gravity and whatever, strength and all that kind of shit, you have to explain that character for me to say, okay, that can make sense. But if you don't and you just throw it in there, I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? That what? And that's exactly what the Lord of the Rings has done.
Yeah.
And I'm going, first off, if they made it interesting and followed some of this stuff, the basic rules of that universe, I could accept, I would be interested in watching it. But they made this character so in your face, kind of overblown, and I'm like, where the fuck? There's nothing in the book. Where's this coming from? And they didn't explain any of her character throughout this whole series. I'm going, and I can't stand when something doesn't make sense, bro.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
God.
give me a little bit to grab onto or something. So we turned it on. So at the end of it, she was like, Eric, please do not watch the next one because it's fucking annoying as hell when you watch it. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm not enjoying this at all. So,
Yeah. I don't take it that far. Like I said, I can watch like terrible movies and
right.
easily. But if I judge it by how my boredom level is,
Yeah.
and episode 1 is like, all right, I'll give it a couple episodes. Episode 2, I'm sitting there playing pool on my iPad. All right, I'm out. And it was the same thing with the House of the Dragon. It was the same thing. To me, I didn't like.
I'm
I could
finding it
not get into
interesting.
it.
Yeah, I got into it. I don't know. The last 2 episodes were really slow, but they threw enough in there for me to keep watching. Or maybe it's because my son and daughter-in-law are really into it, and it gives
Yeah.
us something to talk about. So whereas the Lord of the Rings thing, no one besides me wants to watch it. So maybe that's part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll definitely give House of Dragon a little more,
I don't know.
another chance.
It's okay.
But it's hard for me. For one thing, it's hard for me to get into a new TV series, even though this is kind of related to uh Game of Thrones, which I loved.
Okay.
It's still hard for me to get into a TV series. Like, it took me forever to start watching Parks and Rec, and I've still only watched the first season. I enjoyed it, but I have to
Dude,
be
I
like
watched
in
like
mood.
2 episodes of that. I never watched it.
It's yeah, they said,
It's
and
funny.
everybody, it is funny, but
Yeah.
it was like everybody always starts especially with the show like The Office, the US version of it.
Yep.
They're like, just get past the first season. I'm like, dude, if a first season can't capture me, I'm out.
So why? Yeah. When people say that, I'm going, okay.
I don't care if
If
second
I have to
season's better.
suffer through, like, force myself through the first whole season, like if you said, okay, get past the first episode because they're building
Exactly.
characters and their backstory and shit like that, that's fine. A whole season, bro, you can fuck off. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of attention span.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, speaking of first episode, get past that one. For me, it was my buddy at work. It was Squid Game.
Oh,
Because the very first episode is this guy's just a piece of shit.
yeah.
He's a terrible father, he's a
Yep.
terrible human being.
Yep.
But I'm like, I feel something coming on this, so I watch the rest of it. I'm like, holy crap, this show's awesome. I'm like, I just keep telling you, just get past the first episode.
Yep.
and it's golden from there. And then the entertainment part comes from that.
It
Comes out.
really
So
is. And you
yeah,
got to have that backstory,
yeah,
that character to understand, the second episode. Like there are some things, and I understand that. And I feel like some people, if you've read books like novels, not like self-help books or
mhm,
informational books, but novels.
yeah,
If you read novels, most really, really good novels that draw you in, um, they don't start out with, the first chapter doesn't start out with fucking boom.
yeah,
Uh, there's this explosion and these guys are running in, and it's not like a fucking movie. Okay. Or a TV series that it builds these characters,
mhm,
it tells stories for all these different things, and it sets all this stuff up. So some of that stuff is telling you details that kind of intertwine with all this shit later on. And so you can be reading it when you're tired or whatever, and you're kind of like just skimming through, and nothing really grabs you right away. You're just kind of like, you're skimming through it. And then the second chapter is okay. But this might be a fucking 50 chapter book, you
yeah.
know?
Our timelines are too close together because around 91, 92 is when I started reading books as well.
That's fucking great. And you and I were both in California, probably not in
Yeah,
the same area, but we were
Jesus.
both in California in 91, 92.
Yeah,
So,
mine was Dragonlance Chronicles 1 through 3.
okay.
Uh, I read a bunch. It was my reading was definitely a lot of fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
I read Lord of the Rings stuff, of course, Hobbit as well.
Yeah.
I tried to read the Game of Thrones ones, but for some reason it didn't grab me.
Yeah.
But I really have not read a novel in so long. I've tried to read a few books here and there, but it's just like my attention span for it just doesn't work anymore. And
Yeah.
I blame I
It's
blame
definitely
I
different.
blame I blame all the media that's out there where it's like, you mean I don't have to sit in silence and use my imagination,
All
and now I
right.
can just actually watch it? And why don't they make this into a movie? It'd be so much. And then I'm like, oh right, because most of the books that turn into movies are dog
Our
shit,
shit, bro. Shit.
except for The Crow and 13th Warrior. Have
Now,
you
the
seen?
13th Warrior, I remember the name, but I can't remember the movie. But the Crow was fucking awesome.
And the
And
fact
I'm
that
gonna tell
they're
you,
plans to
do you
be
believe the
remade.
conspiracy behind Brandon Lee?
Which one was it? I don't remember.
Brandon Lee was Bruce Lee's
Oh yeah, I
son,
know who
right?
he is. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what the
yeah.
conspiracy is,
Well,
but
he got killed on
yeah,
set by the same type of thing happening where somebody, when they were filming the movie, somebody's supposed to have blanks and they had a
yeah,
real round in the chamber
yeah.
and
The
killed
plug
him.
like supposedly came out of it.
Same thing with Bruce Lee. But
Mm.
anyway, yeah, the Crow was fucking awesome, dude. Yeah.
And it pisses me off. And yeah, the two after that don't exist. The second sort of exists. The third one
Right.
sure as hell does not.
No,
And
no.
they're doing a remake of it with Jason
Are they
Momoa,
really?
I think.
With
Yeah,
who?
Jason Momoa.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
That
like,
doesn't even fit the character, bro. He's too fucking big.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like I'm a huge fan of James O'Barr, and he said he modeled him after Iggy Pop. Iggy Pop isn't jack like that.
My God. Iggy
Yeah,
Pop's small, bro.
yeah, he's tiny. That's why.
Oh,
That's why the Crow is
Jesus.
just like if you read the comic book, which I did. I was a big comic book nerd because I used to draw all the time too.
Yeah.
It's one of the 30,000 hobbies that I have. Uh, you know, I read the comic book and then I saw if you bought the Blu-ray of the Crow, it came with like an interview with the artist and author. And he just said, "Yeah, I just saw Iggy Pop. I liked how he moved, how his body looks. So it's kind of how I designed him." Like,
Yeah.
holy crap, I see that now.
Right.
That's why he was in his second movie.
Mm.
Yeah, man, it was.
So how do you go from uh Philippines to California to construction maintenance slash whatever, worker with your dad, to getting in fights all the time, teenage angst, and then working at Kroger, when do you get into airsoft and how do you get into it?
Oh, wow. All right. Not a long story, but it's kind of a long story. So definitely, in the where do I start? Okay. So September of 2018, I was going to a boxing gym regularly.
Mm,
So I was going there 2, 3 times a week, spending 2 to 3 hours there, just
wow.
working out, just boxing. I loved it. I'm
No
still,
shit.
because that's my favorite type of workout is actually any kind of martial arts, whether it's just boxing, kickboxing,
So when
wrestling.
you go to this, when you go to this boxing thing, are you doing the what do they call that? The
The cardio
speed bag,
kickboxing.
the
Yeah,
speed bag
yeah,
that's
yeah.
on
I'm
the
not.
rope or
Yep.
the cable.
Yeah. There's the big.
Oh wait, what's the difference between the hanging
Oh,
bag and the
oh,
one that's on the cable up and down?
there's one where it's kind of a big. There's the big bag.
Well,
That's
that's the heavy bag, right?
that's a heavy bag. Then there's a speed where it looks like a teardrop,
Right.
and you're basically just getting your hands in a rhythm
Just
of
this.
moving. And yeah, you
Yeah,
do, man. There's some guys in there that'll throw their elbows in, and like it's just
I've seen
amazing.
that.
What it's
Yeah,
insane. Then there's that one where
it's
there's
attached
a
up and down.
yeah, that one you're really just
You're
practicing
like
your
dodging.
rhythm. Yeah, yeah, you can get a rhythm on it, just bump bump, just a slow rhythm, and then you could hit it real hard and then move and move and move and
Okay.
move. So
Okay.
yeah, so I did all of that, and it was basically Title Boxing Club. That was the gym I went to,
Okay.
and they also had kickboxing classes in there. It's cardio kickboxing, but
Yeah.
a lot of people who don't know about it, who know some sort of thing about fighting, they think it's just like your regular what's that, like it's like CrossFit. I'm like, sort of,
Yeah.
but all the trainers I've ever worked with at this place were actual fighters, and a
Right.
couple of them were working. One of them was a boxer who's been on TV a few times as one of the prelims and stuff, and
Oh,
slowly working
okay.
his way up. So,
Yeah.
and the guy I worked, who I was good friend, became good friends with, this guy Wayne, he had an MMA class on Sunday. So I was like, oh, dude, that's awesome. I want to learn,
Yeah.
I definitely want to get better at jujitsu. I want to learn jujitsu. I want to learn the finer points of wrestling because I took a little bit in high school.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh, sorry. Anyway, so the problem with that is it was $120 a month,
Mm.
and I don't make that much. I make good money,
Yeah.
but I don't make that much money.
Right.
So I said, I can't afford to do this anymore because other stuff I need, like food,
Sure.
is suffering. And I
Yeah.
like having my AC on at a certain
No
temperature.
shit.
So I said, I got to cancel it. And I'll just, go to my gym here and, be the asshole doing karate moves at the gym. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. I try to find a dark corner where nobody can see me, but they see me. But I did find another gym that does have like they do have a cardio kickbox. It's kickboxing class. It's not as intense as theirs. It's a regular gym. They just happen to have it there. So I'm like, you're damn right. And I'm gonna pay $35, $35 a month to go in there and not lift a weight, but just kick the crap out of your bags. I might
Right.
break one of them because I have broken a couple bags.
Yeah,
But
because you were trained for your grandpa to kick a fucking tree,
yeah,
so the bags are nothing.
yeah, yeah. The manager there, what was his name? I can't remember his name, but he was a smart ass. I basically broke the chain on 2 bags
Oh Jesus.
because we were doing round kicks on the left side and the right side, the 2 bags hanging there, and my right kick is just so hard, and so I had these bags swinging almost perpendicular, and I stopped it and I just kicked it as hard as I could, and it swung up, and when it landed, it swung up to where the chain didn't swing with it, so it just kicked up and then
Oh,
boom, and it just like snapped the chain link that's on there.
right.
And the trainer, just, I can't remember his name, but he went up to me, he says, you do another one of those, you're paying for it. And I'm adding $10 on your monthly bill.
Nice.
So anyway, so I had to
So,
cancel.
bottom line is you got some anger issues and you use airsoft to work it out. It's okay.
Exactly. Airsoft and kickboxing and Thai boxing. I use violence to get rid of it in a healthy way. So
Exactly.
But yeah, so I had to cancel that. So for a few months, I just went to the gym, but of course I got bored because I need that physical contact with the bags in martial arts.
Right.
And around January in 2019, I was just looking up gun stuff from like T-Rex, Grand Thumb, all those other gun guys on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then this video comes up, it said Novarich on the bottom of it.
No shit, right?
And I
The
was like,
first time I saw it, I was like, how do you say this?
you know, so I saw him like airsoft, and I'm sitting here, this guy in like a full camo and a sniper rifle. I'm like, what the is this?
Yeah.
And I was like, play. It was a Sunday. It was a Sunday night. I'm going to bed because my YouTube is like the most watching right before I go to bed. It's usually watching YouTube for a while, then 20 minutes of no YouTube to rest my eyes, and then finally go to bed.
Yeah.
And then 7 hours later, I'm still on YouTube.
Bro, holy shit.
And then I hear I'm not even aware of what's going on. I went through like Rich's catalog. I went through Dutch the Hooligans. I went through Desert Fox Airsoft.
Oh my God.
I went through so many. I got hooked that hard, and then my alarm rang. I'm like,
oh my God, you were legit like not aware.
oh
You
no,
were like, oh shit,
gone.
it's already morning.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was light because I'm just sitting I'm just sitting at my bed just like this, and nothing. I didn't realize it, so it hooked me just like that, and so I ran my ass to work. So pounding coffee all day, and it's funny, it's crazy when I say that because some people are like, "What the hell?" But I'm like, dude, this happens like once a month. It happened it actually happened this Saturday night.
Yeah,
where I couldn't sleep because I recorded a video I just put up today because we're doing I don't know if I've been posting a lot of stuff about Vanguard Kingmaker, and that's kind of our event for this weekend.
Yeah.
So I've been posting that. So I'm doing videos and throwing promos for that. So I did that, but my brain wouldn't shut the hell up. Yeah. So it's like, all right, it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm going to go ahead and work on this video the rest of the day and pound all the coffee I have left.
Yeah.
And then, so anyway, I did that, and I just kept, for the next couple months, I just kept looking and looking. And then I said, okay, I think I really want to get into this. So it was about April or May. And I said, went to Google and just typed airsoft gun. And Evic came up. Yeah. A couple other stores came up. I'm like, okay, let's check Evic. I'm like, oh, I'm a web guy. So I'm like, oh, they're the ones paying for advertising on Google. Okay, yep. Let's, for now, I'll stay away from them because I already know that they're the biggest draw as far as stores go. So let's look at page 2 and bottom of the page 1, and so
whatever doesn't say sponsored.
exactly. So I stumbled on a few other stores, and I stumbled on Airsoft GI.
Yep.
And I bounced between. So I was looking at prices. I'm like, okay, they're fairly similar in price. So I going between Evic and Airsoft GI. So I went Airsoft GI, and the tips, of course, a lot of Google research that happened between the first airsoft video and then. Yeah. And as it says, don't buy a gun for your first time. Go and rent. I'm like, nah. So I ended up buying an Echo 1 Robinson XCRL.
What the fuck? What is it now?
It's an
Robertson?
Robinson Armament.
I've never seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically an M4.
Okay.
With a full wrist rail on it. It's their longer version. At the time, it was $109 on sale. Okay. Regular price, $120. And at this time, I also found out about the D14 airsoft field that was out here. The couple other fields are out here. I found the D14 airsoft Facebook page, and I'm sitting there being the annoying 39-year-old asking all kinds of questions like, dude, I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. Is this good? And it's like, no, yes, no, that's all right. But I went
Yeah.
with whatever the hell I wanted anyway. And so I bought that gun. And a couple weeks later, I grabbed it. I'm like, holy crap, this thing's heavy. This
Yeah.
feels real because I've held and shot a couple AR-15s, and I'm like, this is heavier than my friend's dad's AR-15. What the
Yeah.
hell? And I was like, so of course, I opened up my closet door and fired a few rounds into a bucket and a blanket. And
That's
then,
awesome.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
got that around, and I ended up buying the Elite Force Hater
Okay.
because that's the best cheap airsoft gun you could get.
Dude, that thing looks badass too.
And it works great. The
Yeah.
Gen 2, don't get the Gen 1 because that thing breaks all the time, but the Gen 2, it
Yeah.
works great.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
definitely my backup sidearm if my main one goes out. So I didn't play until September because I am a seal or a penguin in the summer. I don't want to be out in the heat. It's too
Gotcha.
hot.
Yeah.
Anything over 80, 85, I don't want to be part of because
Right.
one, I dehydrate real fast anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to get overheated that quickly. And I've gotten overheated before, but so I went out there and I was hooked right away. I played one game and I was like, I still remember the very first because one of the guys at the D14 page said, hey man, I'll take you out there, dude. It's your first time. Let's go. I'll roll with you. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's cool.
We ran out. I followed him, and then he only played like 2 games and stuff. He goes, yeah, I only go until these 2 megs are out.
Right.
And then because he doesn't want to do it all day. I said, well, hell, I'm going to play all day. so here I am with my Chinese knockoff combat shirt, my $85 511 tactical pants I've only worn twice because it's so damn hot and there's zero breathability in it.
Oh God.
And a pair of good hiking boots that I had. So
Yeah.
or no, I had my first pair of boots for that was a pair of steel toe condor boots.
Oh wow.
Which I ended up slipping in one day at the start of the game, at the start of the day, and broke my big toe nail in it.
Jesus.
There was just like this much room, just a tiny bit of room between my toe and the boot, and the end of the boot. And we're at the entrance to the main field, D14. There's a little hill that goes into a creek, and there was just one slippery spot in there that got in. I slipped and my toe just slammed into the steel toe and the steel thing, and just went like this. And it was the beginning, and that was my first BB wars as well. So it broke, and I limped through that whole day with it. I got home, my whole toe was purple. And I looked at it, I'm like, yep, that's broken right at the root. So I'm going to have to wait a few months for this sucker to fall out.
That shit hurts, bro.
Oh, it did. But I walked it off. But, 3 months later, I pulled it off. I still have the video of me pulling it off because I had to send it to a couple of my sisters who I knew.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do with family.
Hey, sis, check this out.
just nothing. Just send video, turn notifications off, and go play video games.
Oh, that's funny.
That's what we do. We're family. So got into airsoft.
So you started, your first airsoft game was by yourself. You watched some videos and you decided, no friends talked you into it. You were just like, hey, I'm going to go try this out.
Yeah. And
that's kind of rare, bro. Like most people I've talked with, their friend, their brother, their, relative, whatever, their partner, their boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, gets them into airsoft.
Yeah. I don't know. I think part of it was because I've played a couple paintball games.
Right.
I mean, it was fun, but it was like, man, everybody's so fast in here, and I'm big, dumb, and slow. and to me, this meant something else. Yeah.
You can't feather the trigger, bro. What are you doing?
I didn't know what that was.
So, I didn't either.
Because I saw there was one kid next to me who was doing that. And I'm like, what the Jesus? I'm like, but yeah, but it was fun, but I didn't get into it.
Yeah.
But growing up in the 80s and early 90s, and my dad saying, "Hey, we're going to see a movie. Let's go watch Full Metal Jacket and
Yeah, buddy.
Hamburger Hill,
Oh
Rambo
yeah.
First Blood, Rambo First
Yes.
Blood Part 2, Rambo
Yes.
3, Rocky 1 through all of them."
Bro.
So, I got started
Whatever you just
early.
said right there, that whole lineup, if you want to get anyone that's listening and watching this, if you want to get motivated, okay, or help to get motivated, motivation ain't going to, just fucking lift you off your couch or lift you out of your gaming chair to go do something. You actually have to go do something to get motivated. You can be motivated inside a little bit, but the most motivation you're going to get is when you go take action. But if you want to help that a little bit to get out of your house, to get out of your apartment, to get off your ass, whatever, all those movies he just mentioned right now, Rocky, Rambo, fucking, Full Metal
Navy
Jacket,
SEAL.
Yes,
Navy
go
SEAL.
watch that shit with a purpose to get more motivated, to get off your ass, to go do something. All right. I'm telling you, it works. It's helpful.
It does. And
Yeah.
we were, as being a dumb kid, we were the kids out in the park, in the big wooded area of a park, shooting each other with BB guns.
Yeah.
Not airsoft.
Me
guns.
too. Me too.
The little
real BB guns.
Oh yeah, he says, "Okay, man."
.177 steel BBs, bro.
Yep. We had the copper ones.
With no fucking eye protection.
Yeah.
I still got a scar on this knuckle. Oh yeah.
I've only gotten shot in the chest because, and you always have that argument, bro. That's not 30 feet, man. you were way closer to 30 feet,
right?
I'm like, bro. And it's like, to us, 30 feet was like 15 feet or 10 feet or something.
Exactly.
Like it was like, man, yeah. I don't know how I'm still alive.
Now, what air rifles did you guys use?
I don't know. It was mostly pistols.
Did you have the pumps?
Yeah. Well, one of my buddy had the pump, but it shot too hard. It looked like it to us. It was more intimidating. So no, man, we only got to use the pistol. That's it.
Oh, okay.
We only went out there with pistols.
I never had one of those. I had we had the rifles. We had the Daisy one pumps.
Yeah, that's the one we had.
Yeah, and then we had Crossman came out with the 10 pump. Okay.
Yeah, that was the one you charged up.
Bro.
Oh, we were scared of that one.
We were like, okay, whoever got that one, I never got one until I was older. I had the Daisy one pump. My dad got me when I was 12. My mom was pissed because she didn't want guns in the house. And so that one pump was like the springers in airsoft. Pew! It would just drop like this. My buddy brought over a Daisy or a Crossman 10 pump. And he pumped that fucker up 10 times. It was like a fucking 22, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Shooting like a rocket. It was awesome. But anyway, yeah,
definitely. So, yeah, all those movies definitely, and playing airsoft, BB airsoft with my friends got me into that. I've always had a fascination for guns. It's whether it's real or fake or whatever. I'm into it. I'm like, cool. It's like I look at a video game now and it's just like, I wonder how that would function as an airsoft gun. I'm a huge fan of the Ghost Recon Wildlands of Breakpoint, and Breakpoint, what's his name? John Barenthal's character had the Silver Stake, which is this giant rifle, DMR rifle. I'm like, I need that as an airsoft gun.
Exactly.
That is, I'm not much for the dream gun type of guy, but I'm like, that's the gun I want. One, as a real rifle that I can own, and two, as an airsoft rifle so I could shoot people with it. But yeah, so yeah, the airsoft stuff, I just got into it, man. I got hooked right away.
Yeah.
And luckily I'm glad I'm able to put my ego aside and not go in there and try to pretend like I know everything. I like the first day after the friend I made left, I go up there and people talking to me. I'm like, bro, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just here to have fun. I saw this on YouTube. I was like, I've already played a couple, but I'm going to keep playing.
Yeah.
and I love it. But yeah, don't follow me, man. You guys are gonna die. Yeah, and and after that, I just kept going and going and going, and then I don't know why I started making videos because it was probably maybe a year after I started playing when I said I'm gonna cheap, I'm gonna try this out with just an Akaso EK 5000 from Amazon, which is decent.
Yeah.
It works. And I have the software to edit video, with Adobe
I had the
Premiere and
same
stuff.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And then after a while, I just like one of my, I always in my videos, I always put dumb, stupid comments. Like my video style is basically how can I make this funny and stupid at the same time?
Yeah.
That's usually my intros and my outros. Or some stuff in the middle as well. And for me, it's just like I want to keep it somewhat PG-13-ish.
Yeah.
So kind of my style. And you'll never see like a title that for me that says cheater video or fight video from there, because to me those cheater videos don't bother me so much because I justify it by saying I hope the guy who cheated finds this video and fixes his gameplay out there.
Right.
But for me, the fight videos is like, get that out of here, dude. You're just making everybody look bad.
Yeah.
You're just making the field look bad. You're making the people look bad. You're making the sport look bad. So that's never going to be like I have film video of people arguing really hard,
Yeah.
like where I had to go in there break it up. I'm like, guys, there's no point. And I always try to make a funny comment in the middle of it to kind of ease the tension a little bit. Like
Sure.
this one of the ones I use. I'm like, are any of you getting paid to play this? Then why are you mad?
See,
You're losing money and getting mad at somebody.
I would be
You should be
horrible
mad
at
about the
that
losing money.
because I love conflict. So I'm the one when people start doing that, I'm the one that stands right up to them and like, yeah, do you hear what he said? You're gonna take that? What the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Fight.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm terrible. So
Oh,
I
God.
wouldn't film it, but I'm the one instigating. If two people are already, I won't instigate a fight from nothing. But if two people are starting some shit, I'm like, well, come on then. What are you doing? You're gonna run your mouth, you better run your fists. Okay. That's it.
Yeah. I'm the guy who after he turned 30, he said, I'm just gonna break up fights because it just worked out for me.
Yeah.
A few times at the bars I used to go to where a fight was about to erupt, and I for some reason I'm good at it.
Yeah.
To where I just go, guys, you just need to chill out, man.
That's
so
good.
But if somebody swings at me, it's on.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. If somebody puts their hand on me,
bro, if somebody swings at me now, today, like right now, I'm like, okay, you won. I'll just unless I have my gun on me, bye, because I ain't swinging back, bro. The healing process I was talking about earlier, yeah, fuck you. It ain't worth fighting over, okay? Because I don't want to take, well, back when I was 20 in the military, I'd heal in 2 days. Now it takes 2 weeks, okay?
God.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, we have our Vanguard event on Saturday. I took the Friday off this week so I can help set stuff up. I'm like, God, I'm 44 and out of shape, and then I'm gonna go help them set stuff up. God, I hope it's not a lot of walking.
Where's the 20-year-olds that we could get? We can get them
to help out. Yeah, we had
carry all the heavy shit, walk all the long distance.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like we're gonna put this
direct.
We're just gonna put this shit in trucks, right? Because I'm already thinking about going to our FOB on Saturdays, like because we're gonna end up hauling most of our stuff there. I'm like, that 50-yard walk's gonna piss me off,
bro.
And then I'm gonna go play airsoft, and you guys are asking me to help squat down. I'm like, bro, look,
for real.
I look young for being 44, but understand my body died like 3 years ago. Running on fumes.
Well, you don't recover as fast. Like you look way younger than 44 for sure. And I look younger than my age. Most people do. Honestly, most people I've met nowadays as long as they drink enough water and they hydrate
Mhm.
um, a decent amount, they look younger than
Yeah.
whatever they say they are.
Yeah.
But it is uh, your muscles still, you can look young or younger than your age. Your muscles don't give a fuck what you
Oh
look like.
no, no.
Your muscles are like, bruh, I'm 52. Okay. I ain't recovering as fast as as we used to. So
Oh yeah.
they're like, hell no.
Yeah, that's why it's like I took Friday off so I could hydrate, stretch, because
Yeah.
I have from everything from playing guitar to lifting heavy things in my early 20s. It's all
Yeah.
coming back, and I'm working in front of a computer and I'm always slouching and I catch myself
Oh,
and I stop.
right.
So I have to do yoga like every day. Like
Sure.
I have a reminder on my phone that says do your fucking yoga at 6 p.m. after work. So
Good.
right after that, I chug a big bottle of water and just go start stretching.
Good
It's
for
not full
you.
on yoga, but it's definitely just stretching my neck and my shoulders and my
Sure.
back. So yeah, it does take me a couple days for me to fully recover, but
Hmm.
I am working on that to where I just got to get back in shape. And
Yeah, that's when I talked to Kicking Mustang, he does yoga. That's part of his regimen,
yeah,
obviously.
it's so good for
Um,
you.
yeah, it's so good. And especially if you want to do that kind of creeping around and what he does,
Hmm.
that's it's a really good thing. And anyone out there, most of the time as you get older, the majority of our daily motion, whatever entails like our work or so if you think about where you use your muscles. So you're sleeping, you're laying down, you get up, you go to the bathroom, walking. If you're not walking for long distance, at a time before you stop, it doesn't help you. And that's, I think, where a lot of people they use this watch thing, the iWatch thing or whatever it is. They say, "Oh, I got my 10,000 steps in." Yeah, but it was 50 steps at a time inside an office or a building where you walk back and forth and then you stop, you walk, you stop, you walk. That's not the same thing
Oh no,
as
I
walking
know.
at an airsoft field and a mill sim that
Mm-mm.
is, 8 acres and you're walking nonstop for like 4 football fields, bro. Okay.
Oh yeah,
With
and
30 pounds extra.
hills
Yeah,
and
and hills.
hills that you
Yeah,
got
the
to go up.
terrain is up and down,
Yeah,
and not just up and down, but it's not flat. So your body, every step you take, if it's uneven ground, there's muscles being used as your foot goes like this, you know, in and out, back and forward, side to side. Like you have to adjust for that, or else
oh
you
yeah,
lose your balance.
oh yeah,
So I never thought about that. I never fucking thought about my whole life because it comes natural as you grow up as a little, as a toddler, as you start, running and you learn how your feet adjust really fast.
yeah.
I never thought about it until 5 years, 7 years ago when I was paralyzed and I was coming out of that and I had to learn how to walk again and use those muscles. Oh my God,
Yeah.
bro, just when I walked on flat surface, fine. Okay. I can I can kind of rehab. Uh, Put me on the fucking yard on grass where it's a little tiny bit uneven. I'm like, oh my God, it's like 10 times the workout. So you don't realize when you get out there on the airsoft field, if you're not used to that, um, your muscles, all kind of muscles are going to be sore.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You're getting a workout. But anyway, yeah, so you go from watching some YouTube videos to getting an airsoft. And what was your first after that first game where the guy from the field helped you?
mhm.
Um, were you like all in then,
Yeah,
or did it take some time?
no, I was all in.
Okay,
And I bought the gun and I said, okay, I can, somebody told me you could just sell it to swap meet. It's happening soon as well if you don't like
right.
it. But the like like I said, the want for me in my early 20s to join the military and all the action
Right.
movies I ever watched when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and paintball not looking as fun for me. And I have nothing against paintball. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, people. I have nothing against paintball. It's just not for me. I like the more military style,
Sure.
realistic looking
Well,
type.
that's what they're missing.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's but the one thing I love about paintball is that there's no denying that you got shot.
Bro, I've
If
said
as
that
long
so many times on this podcast. I'm like,
as yeah,
ugh,
as
you don't
long as
have
it
this.
blows up,
Yep.
you there's no denying it.
Well, it's a heavier item. You
And it
know,
hurts
it's a
more.
it does hurt more. You feel it more for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
So on small, tiny, it's like the pounds per square inch thing.
Mhm.
Um, you know, paintball has more knockdown power kind of thing. So you'll feel it in your general area,
Oh yeah.
whatever it's on your arms, your shoulder, your body, your torso, your legs. You're gonna feel it more often than an airsoft BB.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
an airsoft BB will hurt more if it's concentrated on a single spot, like your knuckle, your fingertip,
You've
right?
gotten shot there.
Yes.
That was a bright
So your
idea of saying,
fingernail,
yeah,
but
yeah. I had one dumb thought. I said, I because the times when I did own a Taurus 24/7 long time ago, and I just liked the feel of the trigger. I had a little bit of training, just training on how to shoot it, manipulate it. One of my old friends was trained in it, so uh and then I shot his AR-15. I'm like, man, this feels good. So he goes, okay, you just move it here, do this is how I manipulate it, you put your hand up here. And then I had the bright idea of saying, okay, yeah, I like the feel of the trigger, I like doing it. So dumb me took the finger cover for this finger off, and just so happened to be that day I healed somebody and I put it down and I'm doing this, scanning the area, but there happened to be a guy to my right about 50 feet away. He just full autos me, and like three of them hit the tip of my
oh
finger.
God.
And
Oh
like in a
God.
row. And it hurts so damn
Was it
bad.
right at the base of your nail too?
Oh no, yeah, just right in
Where
the
the
middle.
skin meets the nail?
No, right in the middle.
Oh God.
And it immediately turned purple. So I did the thing I never don't like doing, because whenever I'm out there, I try to manipulate it as a real weapon. So like anything that looks like a gun, treat it like a real gun.
Yeah.
So when I handle it, like if I start, when I'm shooting, I always try to look at the scope the way somebody find a real weapon would. So it's kind of
Yeah.
my own mental training for myself. It just makes me feel better. So when I see somebody doing that chicken wing thing, I'm like, oh God, why? It shouldn't bother me. It's somebody else, but it bothers me. So I mean, I do that once in a while. I'm like, oh wait, keep it
Yeah.
down, keep it low. But it's and but yeah, as soon as I played, I was like, I'm into this. Why am I'm looking around and there's all these kids in like a t-shirt and jeans and hoodies. Hell, on our field, there's a group of like 15-year-olds who all have HPA rifles,
Yeah.
who all are little badasses, and they're all wearing Stitch onesies, Stitch from Lilo and Stitch,
Oh shit.
and they're little monsters,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
I ended up rolling up with one of them, and I need to put that video out, but I'll save that video. But he just the way he handled himself and played around there, I'm like, this kid's awesome. No matter what, if I see that kid, one of these kids out there, I'm like, I'm gonna roll with those guys because they're just so much fun to
Hell
watch.
yeah.
But yeah,
So is that the worst shot you've ever taken? Or the most memorable,
uh,
painful shot you've ever gotten on your
there's
fingertip?
two more. That one really sucked because to me, like I play guitar.
Yeah.
My job, my source of income is this.
Gotcha.
So it's like me, I got to protect my fingers. my
Yep.
fingers and my
So
ears.
anything yeah, when you have some pain there, when you're typing or you're, using your guitar or whatever, if you have to stop and think about it because you're like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, then
Yeah.
yeah, it's memorable.
Yeah. So I always protect my hands, my eyes, and my ears. So the important parts for me as far as making money. But
Right.
I've gotten the very first shot for the first 2 games that my friend took me out for. I didn't get shot at all, and I don't think I even got any kills. I just saw a lot of stuff happening and fired in different areas.
Gotcha.
But after a couple games, he left, and I went out there, and me being the guy in an OD green combat shirt and 511 tactical pants and combat boots, some kids thought they should follow me.
Yeah,
As I
of
see,
course.
yeah,
You look tactical, bro.
exactly. It's like I have no idea what I'm just running around like this with my rifle. I don't know
Bro,
what I'm
most
doing.
people in charge are really just winging it.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, and that's pretty much how I do it. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go this way and see what happens.
Yep.
But I was trying to think it through then. It was like how if there's I didn't know the map that well yet. If I'd known exactly where they were gonna be because I was there's the center part of it is just this giant city full of containers. And so I was going to go around the city through the woods, and then there's this open area, just like a little road that goes up to this small citadel, and I got into the other side with the other woods. But as soon as I turned that corner there's a guard shack there, I hear something, I turn like this, and I felt 3 HPA BBs hit me like right there in the collarbone, like really hard. And it stung. So that was the first shot I ever took. That one, the finger, and the second and the last one, the most memorable one was me and this guy. This was a few months down the line, so I kind of got to know the field better. I started making more friends out there, and now I had a better idea of where to go. And so I end up with this guy Javier. He's all full kitted out and multicam and all this other stuff. I'm just t-shirt and jeans now. And so we rolled together, and we were basically sneaking around everybody.
Right.
And we get into this one shipping container. They go through one door. So he goes, okay, you look there, I'll look here. So I'm covering the door, and we were about to move, and then I heard something. So I grabbed him and I just said, stop, just be quiet. I pulled my pistol out because I heard somebody coming in through the other side. I see the barrel come in. I see this girl walk in. She's fully kitted out too.
Yeah.
She's wearing white tape. I was wearing blue tape.
Mm.
And I just smiled and pulled the trigger. But my safety was on that pistol.
Oh shit. Oh. Smile gone.
And I'm like, and I'm holding it like this, smile, and then I'm like, my safety's on, just shoot me. So he just looks at me and goes, I'm like, Dad, I'm out.
Oh, that's funny, dude.
Those were definitely the 3.
Smiley face to confused face, like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was those were my definitely my top 3 deaths of all time. So
you said you play at D14. Do you still play at D14?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. So
that's where we're throwing our event this weekend.
No shit. Okay.
Honey Badger is a good buddy of mine. He is a good buddy of mine.
No shit.
Yeah.
So then maybe that's where I found your Instagram is maybe a comment you made on his or something like that. But all these people just pop up as I'm scrolling through, people's stuff.
Yeah, I was wondering, one, how'd you find me? And why the hell did you invite me? I'm a nobody out here, brother.
Yeah, no, dude, you're somebody. You got experience. How long you been playing airsoft?
What year is it? 22, 3 years.
22.
No, it's 4.
Yeah, so more than a couple years.
Yeah. And yeah, it's been fun, man. A lot of my friends tell me you should do more on YouTube. I'm like, bro, I work 40 to 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
I,
It's a
I
lot of work, man.
and I already for my day job sit in front of a computer
Exactly. You don't
for
want to do
eight.
anything when you get
No,
home. No.
yeah.
Hell
Well,
no.
I work from home, but it's just like staring
Exactly.
at a computer wears you out, and I
Yeah.
work like days and nights. So, uh,
Absolutely.
but I do try to keep at least a good stockpile of videos in there. And now we have our event this weekend, and it's just like, okay, I got to film a lot of good stuff for this because this is the final one for
Okay.
our series. So,
So you're definitely going to do some work for that.
oh yeah, I'm gonna make
Yeah.
this one awesome. But luckily, the guys, because I ended up joining a team this year,
I was
and
just going to
I
ask
wasn't
you,
gonna.
are you on a team? Okay.
I just joined earlier, right before summer,
Yeah.
because I've been asked before. I've been asked to join a couple, but I was like, no, man, I'm just out here to have fun. I'll roll with you guys. You guys are
Right.
cool, but I'm not looking to do anything like that.
Yeah. So you don't want to do practice,
Yeah, yeah,
learn coordinated movements and
yeah,
like it's, yeah,
yeah. So
I
I ended
know.
up. Let me put this one on. Yeah, head's all sweaty.
Yeah, dude.
But I ended up my for this Vanguard series.
Ex
Uh,
primus per ultima. So it's Latin. What does it mean? What does it mean?
I don't know. He told me I already
How
forgot.
dare you?
And that right there is why
You don't want to be
I
on a
ended up
team.
joining. It's like I don't care if you remember, but yeah. So for the Vanguard series, this is basically the third and final one of the series
Yeah.
because they were only going to have two events for it. And it's basically like a mix of milsim and BB wars. So
Oh,
it has the elements of milsim to where really strict on rules, really strict on your uniforms that you
uniform,
wear.
right?
So you have to follow. It's not so it's not like it's for my side. I'm joining the UN side,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's like full camo.
Gotcha.
Like I had to correct my video. I just uploaded today saying, hey, you got to wear full. I asked him, can I wear an OD green top with a woodland pants? He goes, no, you have to wear camo top. And
Gotcha.
I'm on his team.
Mm,
I'm on this team. And he's like, no, you got
right.
to wear camo, no exceptions. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll run down to the store and grab some.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I grabbed the camo shirt, but it has like the story elements and not so serious moments of BB wars. So
Right.
that's what kind of what they're wanting to do. And so last year they started asking my good friend of mine, who you should ask to join your podcast, Matt from Black Wolf Videos. He's a sweetheart of a guy. He does a lot of photography.
Black Wolf.
Black Wolf Videos. I could
Yeah.
send you a link to his page.
Yeah, definitely do that. Okay.
He's definitely one of the big friends I made.
Gotcha.
Um, Sweetheart of a guy, great guy. And we ended up becoming good friends because the Airsoft GI store used to be 2 blocks away from my place.
No shit.
Yeah. And I didn't know that. I only found out because I had to return a sniper rifle
Yeah.
that I ordered because it was all dirty and busted.
Mm-hmm.
And then come to find out it was like one of their display models at their old store.
Right.
So I returned it. So I started going there on a regular basis, of course, hanging out, not buying
Yeah.
things all the time. And one of my best friends now is Dave, who used to be a manager there. So, and Matt, he ended up he worked with a GI all the time during that time and filmed videos reviewing guns at their store all the time. So I'd run into him there,
Right.
and we ended up becoming friends. So for the Vanguard series, they said we need some funny stuff for the videos. So Matt just goes, I'll ask Mark. He's out of his mind. So and it's not far off.
What a compliment.
I'm like you're not wrong. And I accept that. I'm not
Yeah.
right. I know about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like I was saying earlier, I try to keep my site my videos PG-13,
Yeah.
but it's just like I got to go through 95% of the stuff that comes in is just like god awful and will get me canceled. So I was like, okay, that's why it takes me a long time to crank out. So I can't do this. I want to do this,
Yeah.
but I can't because my parents will disown me and I'll get shot from a
Oh
distance.
shit.
So my brain is like really filters through a lot. So he asked
Okay.
me to join, do some filming with that, just to be. At first, it was going to be an extra body, and
Yeah.
then Crixus, who's one of the CEOs for for Vanguard, he says, "Hey, you want to do some bits with us?" It's like, yeah, we can have lines. You could come up, whatever. I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, I could come up with some stuff, type of scenes. So we filmed a bunch of scenes of me just doing random stuff. Like my character, his name is, uh, shit, I can't remember. Brand
Jesus.
Brandon something something.
Brandon
I don't know.
BB. Brandon
Basic,
BB Wars.
yeah, something like that. I know his name was Brandon. I'm probably wrong. He'll correct me later. But so basically my character has died like 7 times in this series, but just
Oh
shows
God.
up all the time.
You're a
And
cat. Just like
and
your
just
your
yeah,
pets.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just show up in
Nine
random
lives.
places. Like the first, and then they were trying to give me some lines to read. I'm like, and then of course I'd say, how about this one? Like my first line in this series was uh me and a guard standing in this creek, just standing there, and then I just go, "Hey, we're gonna talk about that thing we do last night," and he just goes, and then we both get shot, and we both just fall down. And then the very next scene was me standing there with a different guy, same outfit, same everything, going, "You ever go through deja vu?" and then get shot again.
Oh
But
Jesus.
but after those bits, and I ended up becoming really good friends with Kirksis.
Okay.
This year he invited me to the team just casually. He goes, "Man, yes." It's like, "I don't know, man, but if you want to join the team, that's cool." I'm like, "You know what? I like you. You're a good guy. Most of your team is close to my age. And you said we're not the type of team that'll run and train. We're just out here to have fun.
Right.
I'm down. And you guys are throwing these milsim events, I want to
Yeah.
be part of that. And I know I can help you because I'm a marketing guy."
Yeah.
So, I want to be, that's the biggest reason why I've joined, because I want to see this grow.
Okay.
So that's why I've been promoting the hell out of it along with a bunch of other people. And to me, it's like, I like this because I can put my day job into it,
Right.
and it doesn't affect my day job because they're so casual about it. It's like, yeah, that's fine. And I could be as goofy as I want with it. So
Yeah. You're it's like you're a little more excited about it because when you make something for that, it's not, you can separate in your head.
yeah, it's not
Um,
work.
it's not work. It's
No.
fun. And you're excited to use the knowledge and tools that you have, the experience you have with that kind of marketing stuff,
Yeah.
the video and editing and whatever, like I know what makes a good short kind of thing that would
Hmm.
promote this. So I want to do it, to help this cause or,
Yeah.
team or whatever. It's a whole different thing. You get, more excited. It's not mundane, boring fucking work.
Yeah.
You're excited about it. And when you're excited about it and you make something like that, anyone that watches that feels the love, bro, that they
Yeah.
they they
Yeah.
know, like, this person, liked what they were doing in
Yeah.
it. So there's different kind of feel for it. So
Yeah.
hell yeah.
It doesn't feel like work. It's just me hanging with the guys, and I happen to
Right.
code stuff here and there. But I'm down with them, so I
Hell yeah.
accepted. And a couple of my friends were upset that I joined them and not them. So like,
Well, I mean,
walk it off.
that's normal. That's very
Oh yeah.
normal because when you start out the way you did, which is, a lot of people's story, and they, kind of progress through, like they try a bunch of different fields or different, playing with different people or whatever. You're just getting introduced to it, and then
Mhm.
you play with the same person or three people 4 or 5 weeks or whatever months in a row. You go out there and you build that camaraderie.
Yeah.
But if somebody doesn't ask you, like, hey, we have a team, would you like to be a part of it? um and initially you're really not that serious about it. If somebody doesn't ask you up front, then you're like, well, no, I mean, these guys asked,
Yeah.
so
Well, those other
that's where I
people
went.
asked. there's other people asked, but you know, it was
Gotcha.
before
Wasn't the right time.
it just didn't, it just wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
And a lot of the biggest reason why I ended up joining Vanguard was because of their attitude.
Gotcha.
It was because after filming stuff with him, I never played a game with Crixus
Okay.
until like this year. But it was just working with him
Yeah.
and goofing around with him. Our
Yep.
text chain's just stupid, and you know, all the filming stuff. And it, to me, to me, that just made me want to join more, is because like, okay, they're not taking it that they're taking it seriously, but they're not taking it that seriously.
Right.
It's like, we're here
There's
to have
balance
fun.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, that the attitude is really what got me into that.
Sure.
And the fact that, you know, they're making a push to being another airsoft event out there, to me, that drives me to do it more, because then, you know, I can use my personal talents from web design, graphic design, some video. I'm okay at video. Matt from Black Wolf does all of their video.
Okay.
I can at least put my talents into it. So I'm like, I'm down with this, man. Because
Yeah.
I can only handle so many of the websites I do for work.
Yeah,
So
shit, right.
I need something different. Like, and you know, I'm so burnt out sometimes after work. It's like I can't even work on my own personal website. So,
Right. Yeah.
but you know, if I'm helping somebody else out, I can put all my stuff aside.
Sure.
So it's just like, yeah, I'm definitely all in on this with this team. So
Well, that's the thing too, man. When you meet people, the more you expand your social network, you know, not just online,
yeah.
but when you meet somebody in person, there's chemistry that happens,
Mhm.
and that you can't get from, you know, gaming with somebody online. You can talk with somebody over Xbox Live or whatever it is, on your headset, and you can connect by the stories they tell, the words they use, you know, the sound of their voice, that kind of thing. You still don't get the chemistry that happens when you're in close proximity with somebody, you know,
Yeah.
human to human. You know, you don't get that chemistry. So when you do that, when you have that, it is, you know, it's to connect with somebody and not with somebody else isn't a, it's, what do you call it? It's neutral. Like, it's not, it's not good or bad. It doesn't mean you don't like the other person.
No.
There is a legit chemistry that happens between two people that that you can't explain sometimes.
Yeah.
And so and timing is a huge thing. So the state of mind somebody's in when they get asked to be, let's say, like you did, a part of an airsoft team, whatever. You know, listen, bro, if I wouldn't have got sick or whatever, I did not like YouTube. Nobody in my family for all of history would have ever thought I would have started a YouTube channel. It was out of desperation. So I've had people say on here like, oh, it's so cool that you were so into or involved in what your kids were involved in, you know, that you did this. I'm like, no, I wish I could say it was that noble. I was totally selfish. I wanted something to do to keep from going nuts.
Yeah.
You know, from coming out of what I came out of. So I was like, I wish I could say it was a noble cause. It wasn't, but anyway, yeah, timing is a huge thing.
It really is.
Yeah, but
And
anyway.
yeah, definitely with the chemistry. So I have
you
zero problem.
can't help that. That's something you're born with. That is something that's, you know, part of our DNA, that's part of our makeup, that we just connect with certain people at certain times too. You know, in our lives. So yeah, for sure. So you got you're definitely all into airsoft. You recently got your, well, I guess he kind of started being interested into airsoft, the guy you worked at Kroger with when you were 16, and you bought him a mystery box and got him all kind of gear and set up to go out and play. I didn't look at how old that video was on your YouTube channel.
That was recent.
That was recent, right?
That was like a month and a about a month ago.
And he's gone out and played with you, right?
Yeah, he's only gone once because
Yeah.
his rifle ended up there's an electronic trigger unit in it
Yep.
that you can program to
3-round
change the
burst.
whatever,
Right.
and it went out. So it
Okay.
was only shooting full auto. So I had to
Gotcha.
return it to GI. They honor their warranty. So
Yeah.
I told my buddy, do not take the flash hider off. Don't paint over it. Don't do anything. Leave the accessories just in case something happens, because
Gotcha.
these things. And if anybody's ever says Lancer Tacticals suck, I'm like, yeah, that was a Lancer Tactical, and let them know that I had a $450 Elite Force Avalon
Yeah.
shoot full auto without me pulling the trigger the very first day I ever used it. So
Bro.
all of these things are made by human hands, some of it machine.
Absolutely.
They're all bound to screw up. I don't care what
Absolutely.
brand it is. Something will screw up.
I'm
Period.
going to tell you the most consistent quality we've had on all the different guns these guys got were the G&Gs
G&Gs are great.
and the Crytacs. Now, Coltrane on our channel, he bought the Vector, Chris Vector. Who was that Crytek?
Yeah, the Crytek made
Chris Vector.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he bought it brand new. Came with 2 mags, I think. They're proprietary mags, whatever. Thing was a piece of shit. Okay, piece of shit. It didn't shoot right. We couldn't figure out if it was the mag well, how the mags fit in. We couldn't. It was a feeding issue.
Yeah.
We narrowed it down to a feeding issue, but when it's that, and you don't know that much about, how all these different things that go in it, and it was a $500 gun, you're thinking, you're expecting it to shoot like, these guys got a Crytek War Sports, and they were fucking awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
That was almost my first gun, but I was like,
solid,
I don't want to spend
bro.
$300-$400 right now. But yeah.
Yeah.
And that was one of the guns on Ghost Recon Wildlands. So I almost got that thing.
Yeah, the LVOAs, man, like the LVOACs. Fucking awesome, dude. Chris and JP each got one, and they put regular mags in it. Awesome. Drum mags in it. Awesome. Cheap mags, shitty mags, fucking great mags, whatever you put in that thing shoots awesome. This Vector was a piece of shit. Now, I know that's not most of them.
Yeah.
So we got, it's going to happen. You get one of those clunky ones that, mass production, you're going to, somebody's going to get a fucked up one.
Yep.
The Lancer so anyway, to talk about what you're talking about. So we got a really good brand of a good gun that most people have a good experience with. We had shit. We got a Lancer Tactical that was like $98. Okay. M4 shit total, whatever. This thing is still shooting today. It's 3.5 years later. Gears aren't burned up. Now, we don't put 11-1 in it. We only put a 9.6 in it, but still, the things run on probably 10 different 3-day milsims. Okay. And the thing fucking runs great. It's their backup weapon when they take their expensive guns.
Yeah. And the backup weapon I have now, because I had the Sig Sauer MCX as my primary.
Okay.
I was going to swap the spring out to knock it down from a DMR to a rifle range.
Gotcha.
And but for some reason the gears in it just lost contact with the piston.
Yeah.
So it was just you're firing and you just hear the gear spinning and not doing anything. So I was like, all right, I have an HPA unit sitting around. Yanked it out, put an HPA in it. So I was like, that's my HPA gun.
Nice.
It shoots great. It's so tuned. And if you ever shoot an HPA, it's basically cheating because it's so good. It's so much control. It's so nasty and so quiet. That's kind of the only time a suppressor will work is when you're using an HPA or a bolt action sniper rifle. But it's like I don't want to run an HPA all the time because I don't want. Sometimes I want to run real lightweight, just a
Yeah.
chest
You don't want
chest
the
rig.
tank. You don't want the hose. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I had this Echo One MP5K laying around that I never used because I have the full size Elite Force MP5, which is awesome.
Nice.
So I put it up for trade, and this guy said, "Hey, I got this M4. You want to trade for it?" I'm like, "What is it?" It's a KWA A1. I looked it up. The photo wasn't loading that he sent up, but I looked it up. It was just like it was like a $200 M4
Mm.
with the clamshell handguard, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I hate that handguard. It looks so
Yeah.
dumb. I can't
I
put
did
a hand
too.
grip.
That's what I had in the military. Yeah. M16A2s. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was that. I'm like, and it was, I'll give it some thought. Then he posted a photo of it. He swapped out the handguard to a key mod handguard
Oh
and
shit.
painted and put like camo paint on it. I'm like, are you sure you want to trade this for the M4? He goes,
Damn.
yeah, I need something different. I got a bunch of M4s. I'm like, okay.
Hell yeah.
So I did it, but it had a feeding issue, like you were
Oh
saying, and I was going to say that. And then I found out, I spoke with my tech because I don't work on the internals of my guns.
yeah.
And it was just a bucking. I swapped out the
Oh,
bucking.
nice. I was just looking at my I can't really see the little counter timer up at the top right on
Yeah,
this Zoom.
we're at 3 hours, brother.
3 hours, dude. Oh my God. I am
I
so
told you,
sorry I kept you
dude,
on this long.
dude, I don't go to bed till like 1 or 2.
I
Sorry.
I don't care what time I go to bed. I don't care how long these go. Um I try to be kind of respectful of people's time, like if we start later. And I seriously did not I mean, this is one of the first times that I have not even looked at the clock to see like, oh my God, it's been going a while. There's
Yeah.
sometimes where, where I'm running out of questions or if somebody's running out of, stuff to talk about, whatever. If they don't elaborate on their stories. I'm like, it'll end in an hour, 20 minutes.
No, I can ramble. And
Dude,
I didn't even go into full detail on all these stories that
well,
I could think of anyway. It's like I
I
got so
apologize, man, for
no
keeping you
man.
on this long.
If no, I'm all right. I don't go
Okay.
to bed till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning.
good. Okay.
I get
Well,
my 4 or 5 hours and I'm good to go.
I'm really not trying to I feel like the conversation's been going very natural.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to kind of force it in whatever way.
Oh,
Like
I didn't
things
feel that.
you've talked about have been very interesting. So it led to another question.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So holy shit. Yeah, I went to take a piss and I'm like, there's no way it's that late. What the fuck? No way. So it does not
I
feel
was
like it. Uh,
I definitely look at the clock like a couple of times. I'm like, I'm still awake. We're good.
oh my
Uh,
God. That's
this is
crazy.
all this is
Okay.
all you, man.
Well, I want to so let's wrap up with
Yeah.
some rapid fire questions because
All right.
when I have people on, like yourself, there's not going to be we don't have time to go through all of the stuff
Yeah.
As it rolls on, I guess, as we talk. So I've had people on 2 and 3 times and it just, other things come up as we talk.
Oh yeah.
So, but I do want to do a couple rapid fire questions with you
All right.
that might be fun to kind of end it. And then we'll go into where people can find you online and stuff.
Sure.
So, all right. So you've been playing airsoft for a while. So you probably know, have you played milsims
Not yet. I was supposed to go earlier this
or have
year.
you played night games?
I've played one night game.
Okay. Well, it's
It was
relevant
fun.
to some of the rapid fire questions. Okay. All right. So, and the other ones I already know because you talked about them. So, nods or no?
More fun. I've never tried nods, but I'd like to try both. So I don't know.
Okay. AEG or HPA?
Whatever you want, it doesn't matter. I have both. I like both. And there's inconveniences to both.
Got you.
Charging batteries, even and GGBRs, you have to put gas in it.
Right.
HBAs, you got to fill up your tank.
Absolutely. And carry the tank with you.
Exactly.
Bang bang rule or no?
Hell no.
Yes.
Get shot, son. Take
exactly.
Shut the hell up.
You signed a fucking waiver. Okay.
Yeah. And a couple kids tried to do that on this one guy did that. He goes bang, 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 bang. I just went, he goes, dude, I bang banged you. I'm like, there's no bang rule here.
What the fuck does that mean?
I'll the only time I ever let that rule, and it's just such a weird rule, but the only time I ever took it was from a little kid. It was about 13 years old. I'm like, normally I would shoot you.
Yeah.
Because that's not a rule here. You saw it on the board. Everybody saw it. But just understand, somebody might not be as nice as I am and just pop you right in.
Well, let me ask you this about that. Would you be okay with instead of somebody coming up saying bang bang, somebody coming up, the knife kills?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Stealth kill, or tapping you on the head. They're trying to be stealth and they're, they stab you or hit you or put the gun up to the side of your head kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Like, I've gotten close to a couple melee kills. I don't have a melee on me, but I was just going to put like the barrel of the gun under plate carrier right on the back. Said, hey, I got you. Don't say anything, silent kill, blah, blah.
Yep.
And like the two people I talked that I had that opportunity on, they were just like, oh yeah, dude, I would have taken that. Because I took one knife out there and I lost it. It already fell out of my little plastic $6 knife I got.
I know, right? Those things are shit, bro.
They are.
Yeah. Okay. I still got one in my closet. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I wish the melee tap with the magazine well of your pistol should be count as melee kill as well.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. It's like just a light tap and play carrier or just on the quick little tap on the shoulder.
Yep.
That's it. But
awesome.
Screw you and your bang bang rule.
Nobody there's not been one person so far. So you have not broken the streak. Not one person so far has liked or agreed with the bang bang rule. Everyone I've asked has said, fuck that rule.
Just take your shot. Just make sure you shoot that person with a PBR gun. Aim low around the stomach and lower and up. Aim for the torso, which is what you're supposed to shoot anyway. Do not shoot them in the face or the back of the head.
Yeah. If you for sure. So, man, listen, bro, it's been really good talking with you. I mean, I really lost track of time. I cannot believe it's been this long. No kidding. Before you said you had to take a piss, I'm like, my butt's not even hurting. Like for real. I'm not even like, like moving around or nothing. Like, I didn't realize that we have gone this long. See, I have my resolution set on my monitors really low, really high. So the numbers are really low, like on the camera and stuff. And I wear glasses. I just never wear them, or I have glasses. I just never wear them. So see, now I see it's 1:26 a.m. in South Carolina. So, when I got up, I was like, there's no fucking way. Holy shit. I don't feel like I've talked to you that long. But anyway, you've been really, really good to talk with, man.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate you inviting me, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It really has. And I'll tell everybody about your channel, man. I've been slowly going through. I'm not looking
for that. I don't, bro. Nobody watches this shit.
Well, I'm forcing people to watch it. I'm definitely gonna post this one up in a few places. Just hope my parents don't see it. But
for sure. Yeah. Oh, it's good, man. That's
out how many fights I should have gotten suspended for in high school, in my freshman year in high school.
Your parents can be like, you never told us about that. What happened?
Yeah, you don't know where I live.
Oh no.
But yeah,
Well, I
it's fun,
appreciate you,
man.
brother, man. Where can people find you online?
Okay, on YouTube, you could find Mark the Airsoft Primate. That's written just MARKTHE, the Airsoft Primate. So, and on same thing on Instagram, Mark the Airsoft Primate.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
why did you pick that name?
I was gonna go with Airsoft Monkey
Yeah.
or Monkey Soft, but I found a couple channels that already had that,
Mm,
and I wanted to go with one of those because my friends in sixth grade made fun of me because of my last name, which is Tianco.
yeah.
But sometimes, like the Filipinos, they pronounce it Chonco.
Yeah.
So kind of like CH. So in Spanish, there's Chongo with a G instead of a K. So they called me Monkey Boy. And it sucked for like 2 months, for like a week or so. But I'm
Chongo
like,
is
yeah,
Monkey Boy. Oh.
or just monkey.
Oh, okay.
It's monkey in Spanish, I
I
think.
I don't know other
Yeah.
languages too much.
It,
I know Ola,
yeah. Yeah,
Cerveza.
exactly. The two most, and El Baño. Those are the three most important ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they gave me that nickname. They just called me that.
Okay.
And of course,
Gotcha.
it's my last name. I was like mad about it for a month, but then
Sure.
I just said, you know what? All right, I'm Monkey Boy. That's it. That's my
Yeah.
nickname. And then because that's I wanted to name my channel Monkey Airsoft or Monkey Soft or Airsoft Monkey, but all of those were taken, and most of
Gotcha.
them only had like one or two videos. But I'm like, I'd still call this copyright infringement.
Yep.
I've, as a man who's worked in graphic design and designed
Right. Well, when
logos,
somebody searches your stuff, you don't want that coming up and them being
exactly.
confused with whatever your channel
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yep.
I was just looking at Joe Rogan's the gorilla,
Yeah. The primate,
the primate
yeah,
kettlebells. I
right.
was looking at that and I just said primate. Hey, that's a monkey too. All
Yep.
right, let's go primates up. Yeah, screw it. Mark the Airsoft Primate. Let's do this. Design, and then process, and then started working on logo and stuff, which I spent 2 weeks doing sketches, and then all of a sudden I said I hated everyone because I did like anime and like 90s animation style monkeys, stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then I
Curious
said,
George. Okay.
yeah, definitely down that path. And then it started looking more like Curious George and the MailChimp
Hmm.
logo guy. So I said, okay, I need something different. So I just got hammered one night, and that
Yes. That's where all the
oh,
best ideas come from, bro.
yeah, sometimes, sometimes, because then you wake up in a graveyard, and I'll tell you about that story one
Oh,
day.
Jesus. Next time. Hell yeah. That'd
Next
be
time,
awesome.
I'm totally down. But so I just got hammered, opened up Illustrator, opened the shape tool, and 15 minutes later I had my little monkey logo icon. And
Nice.
I found the worst font possible and made that the text around it. And I went with purple. I was gonna go with and I went with purple because that's my favorite color. I went with yellow because that's not my favorite color, but they just work together, like
Yeah.
Like the old original Los Angeles Kings and the LA Lakers
Oh,
jerseys.
shit. Right.
So, and I'm an LA boy, so
Of
that's where that came
course.
from.
Yep.
So that's where it is. That's how it came up.
Dude, that's cool.
And I like
Hell yeah.
monkeys, and monkeys are awesome.
Right. Except when they throw shit. Okay.
It's still funny as long as I'm not.
That's
That's why
true.
when I go to a zoo, I'm like 15
Not
feet
onto
away
the,
from the
yep.
cage.
Stay back. Don't be on the receiving end.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome, dude. Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me, man. This is a lot
Yeah.
of fun. I'm totally down to do it again, and I'll send you Matt's info for Blackfoot
Okay.
videos and Vanguard Airsoft if you want to talk to them as well. They're all
For
good.
sure.
They're all great folks.
Well, anything that, and this goes for anyone listening or watching that's going to be a guest in the future. If you have sponsors, if you have teammates, if you have anyone you want to promote, send me, when we're done here or tomorrow or the next day. This video will come out in probably a week and a half or so. Send me links to anyone you want me to, link in the description. Okay. And I'll gladly do that.
Yep. Awesome, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you, Mark.
All right. Have a good one. Get some
You too,
sleep.
bro. All right.